Chapter 364. Taking the aristocratic route was a very tempting idea. Many businessmen knew that this was a good way to make money. The cost was almost the same. One was the price of the commoners and the other was the sky-high price. Many businessmen wanted to improve their brand to a higher level, but there were very few successful ones. Using the simplest example, for example, fast food restaurants. Many companies in the country invested countless funds to build a fast food restaurant that could be compared to KFC and McDonald's, but most of them failed. Even if there were a few that survived, they couldn't be compared to KFC and McDonald's. Therefore, a brand couldn't be built with money. It must have the opportunity. Timing and location were important, but the most important thing was the right people. Only when people were needed could a brand be built quickly. Yang Ming had all these. Yang Ming was rich. He had Zhang Jiefeng's business connections. Most importantly, he had Lu Weishan's reputation. Therefore, it wasn't difficult to build a luxury brand quickly. Ordinary jewelry, after being appraised by Lu Weishan, could increase the value of the goods by several times in an instant. Not to mention the jewelry company that Lu Weishan personally authorized. Therefore, Yang Ming believed that according to what his godfather said, if he continued to do this, it would be difficult not to succeed. We are in the luxury brand business. My reputation is one aspect, but the most important aspect is the quality of the materials. Lu Weishan said, your classmate's father should have this kind of channel. We are not afraid of the high cost, but we are afraid that the materials are not good. I understand. Yang Ming nodded. Lu Weishan only provided him with a general idea and suggestion. As for the specific operation matters, he still had to discuss with Zhang Jiefeng to decide. The next morning, Yang Ming went to Wu Zhongjie's Central High School according to the time that he agreed with him yesterday. This was a private high school. From the perspective of the teaching facilities, it was much better than the Red Flag High School that Yang Ming studied in before. The school seemed to be a semi-closed management. During the school hours, the school gate was locked. Students were not allowed to go out. But this way Yang Ming would not be able to enter. Yang Ming knocked on the chain on the door. After a while, an old man came out from the reception room and asked Yang Ming, what do you do? What is it? Uncle, I'm the big brother of Wu Zhongjie from class 9. Their class teacher asked me to come here. Yang Ming said. Are you Wu Zhongjie's guardian? The old man asked. Sir, do you know Wu Zhongjie? Yang Ming asked curiously. This little brat was so famous? How can I not know them? They were fighting at the school gate last night. I was the one who asked their teacher to come. The old man said. Yang Ming secretly scolded the old man. If it wasn't for this old man, he probably wouldn't have come today. You wait for a while. I will call their teacher. After the old man finished speaking, he turned around and went into the reception room. After a while, he came out and opened the lock on the iron door. He said to Yang Ming, you can go in now. The teacher of class 9 is Teacher Gao. He works on the second floor of the teaching building, room 206. I know. Thank you, uncle. Yang Ming said politely and entered the school. According to the old man's instructions, he found Teacher Gao's office. Yang Ming knocked on the door and asked, may I ask which one of you is Teacher Gao of the second year class 9? Why is it you? A tall and thin man stood up from the desk and walked quickly to the door. Then he looked at Yang Ming and said excitedly, Brother Yang. Old Gao. Yang Ming was stunned. He looked at the tall and thin man in front of him. Gao Dexin? It's me. Brother Yang, are you looking for me? Gao Dexin asked. Looking for you? You're the teacher of class 9? Are you sure? Yang Ming looked at the person in front of him with surprise. That's right. I'm the teacher of class 9. Gao Dexin said proudly. I, Gao Dexin, have now become a glorious teacher of the people. A hooligan can be a teacher? Fuck, are you sure? Yang Ming scolded. When did you become a teacher? Originally I was following you, Brother Yang. Later on you didn't follow me, so I followed you. I felt that it was meaningless. One day I suddenly read a comic called Spicy Teacher. Then I had the idea of becoming a teacher. But the public schools definitely didn't want me, so I entered this private school. Gao Dexin said, I found that I'm more and more suitable to be a teacher. Not bad. You look like a role model now. Yang Ming looked at Gao Dexin and nodded. Brother Yang, what are you doing now? Gao Dexin asked. I'm in university. I'm in my first year. Yang Ming laughed. You're older than me. Now is not the time. Don't call me Brother Yang. Call me Yang Ming. How can that be? Brother Yang, you'll always be my boss. If it wasn't for you, I would have been crippled by He Huzi and the others. Gao Dixin said in fear. Forget it. Do whatever you want. Yang Ming shook his head. Oh yeah, why are you looking for me? I'm looking for you? Brother Yang, aren't you looking for me? Gao Dixin was surprised. Why would I look for you? I didn't know you were a teacher here. Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Didn't the old man in the reception room call you? I'm Wu Zhongjie's big brother. What? You're Wu Zhongjie's guardian? Gao Dixin was shocked. He slapped his head and said, Damn, I was wondering why Wu Zhongjie was so fierce. 1 versus 2. It turns out that he's Brother Yang's younger brother. You're not an outsider. I don't have to hide it from you. Yang Ming laughed. Actually, I'm Wu Zhongjie's home tutor. Brother Yang, you're still talking about me. Aren't you also a teacher? Gao Dixin said, but that's a different matter. Wu Zhongjie, this kid, how old is he? He wrote love letters to girls. This can't be ignored. What if it affects his studies? Gao Dixin, you've been a teacher for a few years. Don't tell me you've forgotten? Yang Ming shook his head after listening. Do you remember why I became like that? Because. Gao Dixin was stunned. He suddenly understood the meaning of Yang Ming's words. He couldn't help but laugh. Look at me. We also went through it at that time. I understand, Brother Yang. Some things are not the best solution. You don't want Wu Zhongjie to become the second me, right? Yang Ming sighed and said, if there is such a possibility, I really want to see Brother Yang's demeanor again. Gao Dixin smiled. Right, Brother Yang, you and her, there's no news. Yang Ming certainly knew who Gao Dixin was talking about. His face sank and he shook his head. I'm sorry, Brother Yang. My broken mouth. Gao Dixin scratched his head and said, it's fine. Yang Ming shook his head. Right, I still have to go back to school. If there's nothing, I'll go first. You're leaving? Brother Yang, what's your phone number? When will I find you to go out for a drink? Gao Dixin said quickly. Yang Ming told Gao Dixin his phone number and was about to leave. Suddenly Gao Dixin asked, Brother Yang, about Wu Zhongjie. It's up to you. By the way, I've told Wu Zhongjie that if the class monitor is rude again, beat him up until he doesn't dare to talk too much. Yang Ming threw a sentence and turned to leave. No way. Gao Dixin stood at the door of the office with a sad face. Aren't you asking me to encourage school violence? Yang Ming couldn't help but smile bitterly. In this world, a little punk in the past actually became a teacher, and it seems to be a very rigid teacher. Seeing Gao Dixin, Yang Ming was a little emotional. Many of his brothers and friends in the past were now gone. I don't know when it started, but I also lost contact with Li Dagong and Su Peng. What are these two people doing now? Thinking of this, Yang Ming decided to ask these friends out during the holidays and find a place to gather. Of course, this included Gao Dixin, who had just been contacted. After taking a taxi back to school, Yang Ming decided to go to Xiaoqing's place again. He was still worried about Song Heng. Intuition told Yang Ming that Song Heng's appearance was definitely not accidental. Didi. Didi. The sound of a text message rang. Yang Ming took out the phone from his pocket and glanced at the number displayed on the message. He couldn't help but be stunned. Lon Ling. It's Lon Ling. On the sender, it showed Lon Ling's phone number. Chapter 365. This was Lon Ling's card number when she was in Tingcheng. It was only 1 digit away from his own number, so Yang Ming had a deep impression of it. It seemed that Lon Ling didn't abandon this card. Yang Ming quickly pressed the read button, fearing that the phone would malfunction at this time. He stared at the screen closely. It was less than a second, but Yang Ming seemed to have waited for a long time. Yang Ming, have you received the book that I asked Grandpa Zhu to give you? It is a medical book of our Miao tribe. There are not only many secret healing techniques in it, but also many antidotes for voodoo. I heard from Grandpa Zhu that you are an assassin. I am very worried about you, so I asked him to give you the book. There is no mobile phone signal in the mountain. Today my grandmother went down the mountain to buy daily necessities. This is a message that I wrote in advance. I asked her to send it out. You don't have to call back. Wait for me. Don't hang up. Lon Ling. In just a few words, Yang Ming was very moved. It seemed that although Lon Ling was far away in the mountains, she was always concerned about him and worried about him. Especially the last sentence, wait for me, made Yang Ming read Lon Ling's strong love for him. Yang Ming sighed. He typed a message and sent it over. I have received the book. I miss you every day. The Nokia mobile phone had a message arrival receipt function. When Yang Ming received the receipt that the other party had received the message, he was relieved. Thinking about it, Lan Ling would see this message. After many days of concern, Yang Ming finally felt relieved. Because he knew that Lan Ling was fine now. As for how Lan Ling knew that he was an assassin, Yang Ming was very puzzled. However, it was most likely that the old man called Grandpa Zhou had some connection with Fang Tian. Perhaps this old man had been secretly observing him all this time. With the old man's ghost-like skill, Yang Ming simply couldn't find him. Now he finally understood the strange matter. That book was actually given to him by Lan Ling, which made Yang Ming very surprised. However, that old man was too evil. With his relationship with Lan Ling, what couldn't he tell him? Pretending to be mysterious and making him ponder for a long time. However, this incident also indirectly proved that Lan Ling was very awesome, or rather her grandmother was very awesome. That old man Zhou was obviously an expert. Even Fang Tian and Fang Tian's master couldn't control him, but he was actually an errand boy. And now it seemed that the book was obviously real. Lan Ling wouldn't lie to him, so Yang Ming planned to find some time to study it. Otherwise he would be wasting Lan Ling's efforts. After Yang Ming locked onto Lan Ling's information, he transferred it to the memory card and kept it there. At night, as usual, Yang Ming came to Wu Zhongjie's house to tutor him. "Brother Yang, did you go to our school today?" Wu Zhongjie felt a little strange. Logically speaking, every time a parent was invited to school, the form teacher would always call him over. But if the parent didn't come, the form teacher would ask why he didn't come. Today after school, the form teacher, Teacher Gao, didn't show any doubts, so Wu Zhongjie couldn't figure out what was going on. "I went. Why didn't I go?" Yang Ming said indifferently, "Isn't your teacher called Gao Dexin? On the second floor of the teacher's building." "Oh, he went. What did old Gao say?" Wu Zhongjie asked quickly. "Boo." Yang Ming almost spat after hearing it. "You also called him old Gao?" "Yeah, what's the problem? Our classmates all called him that." Wu Zhongjie said as a matter of fact. "No, there used to be a punk in the underworld of Songjiang called Old Gao." Yang Ming shook his head and said, "You mean that Old Gao used to be a gangster?" Wu Zhongjie didn't think there was anything wrong with it. "I know this. It was a rumor in the school. We asked Old Gao, but he didn't say anything. But I think he was lying. With his gentle appearance, how could he be a gangster?" "Gentle?" Yang Ming smiled bitterly. He thought to himself, you didn't see what he looked like in the past. He shaved his head and wandered on the street with an iron rod. "What's wrong? Isn't that the case?" Wu Zhongjie was somewhat disdainful. "He didn't lie to you. He is the old Gao that I was talking about." Yang Ming nodded and said, "I know him." "You know him? Damn, it can't be right. Brother Yang, you are also a gangster? You are old Gao's underling?" Wu Zhongjie was shocked and opened his mouth wide. "No wonder you are so badass. Turns out that you are a brother in the underworld. Then you are old Gao's underling and I am also his underling. Then aren't we in the same sect? Get lost. Who is in the same sect as you?" Yang Ming laughed and said, "Old Gao was with me in the past. If you want to count, you are in the same generation as my son." Wu Zhongjie was shocked. "Can't be, right? Old Gao is your underling? Then won't I be badass in the future? Then why do you think old Gao didn't find trouble with you?" Yang Ming said angrily, "Okay, I told you this to let you see that there is no good in going out. Don't worship these things in the future. It's useless. Learning is the right thing to do. Look at me and old Gao. Aren't we back on the right path now?" "I know. But in school, boys like to compete in these things. Whoever knows more people in the underworld is badass. Girls also like such boys." Wu Zhongjie said. "Is that so?" Yang Ming was stunned. "Am I out of touch with the times, or is the aristocratic school different from my school?" When Yang Ming went out to mingle, no girls liked him. Of course, except for the little delinquent girls. "Yeah, our class monitor." The reason why he was voted as the class monitor was because he knew a lot of people. He was very badass in school. Everyone gave him face. Wu Zhongjie said, "Then can I say that I know you in class in the future?" "Even if you say it, no one knows you." Yang Ming shook his head and said, "Let's do this. Let me see how your final exam results are. If it is good, I will introduce you to a real big brother in the underworld. When you are bullied, you can find him, but you can't go out and pretend to be badass." "Really?" Wu Zhongjie was very happy when he heard it. Pretend to be badass? Of course I won't pretend to be badass. I must pretend with a purpose. I said it. Let's see your results. Yang Ming nodded. Since Bai Hai was in this area, it was fine to introduce him. Today Wu Zhongjie had fewer questions. Wu Zhongjie wasn't stupid. He used to have Lin Jiyun's guidance, so the backlog of questions wasn't a lot. I won't come tomorrow or the day after. Yang Ming said, when is your exam? We will have the exam after New Year's Day. Brother Yang, why won't you come? Wu Zhongjie asked quickly. My performance wasn't good? Are you angry? Damn, tomorrow night is Christmas Eve. The day after tomorrow is Christmas. I have to accompany my girlfriend. You go and play by yourself. Yang Ming smiled and said, don't you want to ask your little girlfriend out to play? I want to go, but she wants to watch a movie. I didn't buy the movie ticket, so she was unhappy. Wu Zhongjie sighed. I should have booked the tickets a few days in advance. Isn't your dad very powerful? Ask him for help. Yang Ming thought, if Ho Zhenhan can get the tickets, Wu Zhongjie's dad should be able to do it, right? How can I trouble him for this? If he knows, won't he beat me to death? Wu Zhongjie shook his head again and again. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. He thought every parent is like this. Wasn't I beaten in the past? I have movie tickets here, but I can't give you the couple's suite tickets. I have 2 ordinary tickets for you. Yang Ming opened his backpack and took out the 2 ordinary movie tickets. Damn, Brother Yang. You are so nice. Are you really giving it to me? When Wu Zhongjie saw the movie tickets, his eyes immediately showed a hungry wolf's green light. Nonsense, do you think I'm taking it out to show off to you? Yang Ming glared and said with some anger. Hee, Brother Yang, you are so nice to me. Wu Zhongjie suddenly slapped his head and said, no, Brother Yang, you don't look like you are short of money. I think your family condition is not bad. Look at the phone you are using. It's an N96, which is more advanced than mine. And this movie ticket is more than 100 yuan, right? Why are you here to tutor me? Is it only 50 yuan per lesson? I don't know if you are really stupid or have a screw loose in your head. Yang Ming shook his head, dumbfounded. When did I say that I am short of money? Is there a difference between being stupid and having a screw loose in your head? Wu Zhongjie was silent. Brother Yang, are you a rich kid who is here to experience life? When I first came here, I thought you were quite smart. In just a few days you showed your true colors. Yang Ming looked at Wu Zhongjie with pity and said, I told you before. I'm here to tutor Lin Jiyun. Chapter 366. Ha. It turns out that Sister Jiyun is my sister-in-law. Wu Zhongjie slapped the back of his head and said, I say, a perfect match. Not bad, Brother Yang. Get out of here, you little brat. I don't know who told me that Lin Jiyun isn't suitable for me. Yang Ming scolded. Wasn't it because I didn't recognize MT Tai? I didn't know that Brother Yang was so badass. Wu Zhongjie said awkwardly, now it seems that only you are worthy of Sister Jiyun. Damn, you kid is quite good at flattering. Yang Ming smiled and said, I'm leaving. I have to go back and prepare. Hey, Brother Yang, you go back. Wu Zhongjie held the movie ticket in his hand tightly. Yang Ming smiled and shook his head. He left Wu Zhongjie's house, but he didn't charge less for the tutoring fee. He took it all. Anyway, this was another matter. The night of December 24th was known as Christmas Eve. It wasn't known when it started, but this foreign festival had been deeply rooted in China. Now the streets could feel the festive atmosphere. However, it was no wonder. New Year only happened once a year, so if one wanted to be lively, one had to find ways to add a few more festivals. It was agreed that they would gather at the school gate today. Zhang Bin's car definitely couldn't fit all of them, so Yang Ming borrowed a car from Ho Zhenhan. It was his antique old Jetta. However, this car was really badass even though it was old. Recently, Ho Zhenhan had also frequently contacted some famous big shots. He was driving this broken car, so this car was considered a bullock car in Songjiang. Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan were together. The two people waited for Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua at the school gate. After a while, Zhang Bin drove the Pentium with Xiao Sisi, but Tian Donghua was as slow as a snail. Yang Ming called twice to urge him, but this guy was late. However, Yang Ming was surprised that Tian Donghua didn't come with 2 people, but 3 people. The extra person was Zhou Jiajia. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. What I am afraid of is happening. What was Tian Donghua doing? Why did he bring Zhou Jiajia here? What is going on? When Qin Mengyan saw Zhou Jiejie, she also frowned. Although she didn't have a bad impression of Zhou Jiejie, she was subconsciously on guard against her. But now that she saw that Zhou Jiejie came with Tian Donghua, she didn't think much. Instead, Yang Ming pulled Tian Donghua aside with an awkward expression and whispered, "Old Tian, what's the matter with you? You don't match." It's a long story. I didn't look for her." Tian Donghua shook his head bitterly. "Zhou Jiejie doesn't have a boyfriend. She and Wang Shui are best friends. Wang Shui can't leave her alone. Wang Shui gave me two choices. Either she goes with Zhou Jiejie or she goes with me, but she has to bring Zhou Jiejie. What do you think I can do?" "Damn, is this possible?" Yang Ming looked at Wang Shui with a deep meaning. "Isn't this looking for trouble for me?" "Yang Ming, just put up with it. At most, I will treat you when we go out to eat. Is that okay?" Tian Donghua shook his head and said, "Besides, it's more lively to have a beauty." "Forget it. She has already come. You can't drive her away, right?" Yang Ming smiled bitterly. "Sco. Do you want to sit in my car or Zhang Bin's car?" "Nonsense. I don't want to sit in your broken car." Tian Donghua looked at Yang Ming's scrapped Jetta contemptuously. He pulled Wang Shui and walked to Zhang Bin's Pentium. "Jiejie, I'm sorry. You can only sit in Yang Ming's car. Do you want to change?" Wang Shui said deliberately. In fact, she knew very well that Zhou Jiejie was eager to sit in Yang Ming's car. "No need. I will sit in Yang Ming's car," Zhou Jiejie said with a smile. He. Tian Donghua remembered that there was still Zhou Jiejie. He smiled embarrassedly. "Otherwise, you can sit in Zhang Bin's car. Wang Shui and I will sit in Yang Ming's car." "No need." Zhou Jiejie smiled. "It doesn't matter." With this act, even the little vinegar jar Qin Mengyan didn't doubt it. Only Yang Ming felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what was wrong. Zhou Jiejie got in the car. Yang Ming started the car. The car made a rumbling engine sound like a helicopter. "I'm going to faint. Yang Ming, can you still drive this car?" Qin Mengyan looked at Yang Ming with some fear. "It's okay. I can only borrow this temporarily." Yang Ming smiled comfortingly. "The engine of this car isn't very good, but the other performances are good." "I'm sorry. Wang Shui insisted on dragging me. I don't have any interest in going alone, so I didn't refuse. I've troubled you." Zhou Jiejie said apologetically. "Don't say this. What trouble? It will be more lively if we go together." Since the other party said so, Qin Mengyan couldn't say anything. What's more, this person was the best friend of Tian Donghua's girlfriend. They couldn't simply offend her. At the very least, they had to take into account the relationship between Yang Ming and Tian Donghua, right? Mengyan, you are so beautiful. Yang Ming is really blessed to find you," Zhou Jiejie praised. "What kind of blessing?" You see that this kid looks honest, but in fact he is very fickle." Qin Mengyan said so, but she was very happy in her heart. Her impression of Zhou Jiejie was also better. Right, what was Yang Ming like in junior high school? Junior high school. Yang Ming was very good in his studies. He even won the second prize in the national mathematics competition. Zhou Jiejie said, however, at that time Yang Ming was much fairer than now. Yang Ming sweated after listening. "My lady, what is fair? Why does it sound like a gigolo?" "Really?" Yang Ming actually won a national award in the national mathematics competition in junior high school? Qin Mengyan was stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to actually win the second prize in the competition. "Why? You didn't know?" Zhou Jiejie was also very surprised. She thought that Qin Mengyan was very clear about Yang Ming's past. "I don't know. Yang Ming didn't tell me these things. Maybe he didn't want to show off? When I knew him, he was skipping classes all day. Every time he took an exam, he was at the bottom. Although I heard that his academic performance was good, I really didn't expect him to win an award in the national mathematics competition." There was nothing wrong with Qin Mengyan's expression on the surface, but she was a little uncomfortable in her heart. Zhou Jiejie knew more than her, and she was his girlfriend. She was the person who accompanied him for a lifetime. If he had anything, he should tell me everything. Therefore, Qin Mengyan decided to find an opportunity to ask about Yang Ming's past. But it can be seen that Yang Ming loves you very much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a big change for you. Zhou Jiejie smiled. "You are very happy." And Qin Mengyan nodded with a red face. For a moment, the lingering depression in her heart, the depression related to Lan Ling, suddenly faded a lot. A woman's nature is like this. She likes to be praised. Although Qin Mengyan wasn't vain, who doesn't like to hear nice words? Especially when other women are envious of her happiness. So, you have to cherish it. Zhou Jia suddenly said in a half-joking tone, if one day you dump Yang Ming, you must tell me. I now think that Yang Ming is a good candidate for a boyfriend. He for sure. Qin Mengyan said with a smile, but in her heart, I won't let that day happen. You should give up. Although Qin Mengyan thought that Zhou Jia was just joking, she was unconsciously nervous. I'm just joking. Zhou Jia also smiled. But maybe one day I will take it seriously. Qin Mengyan took the initiative to change the topic. Right when Yang Ming was in junior high school, did he have a girlfriend? I heard that there was a girl named Xia. Yang Ming. Junior high school. When Zhou Jia heard Qin Mengyan's words, her face was gloomy. About Xia, how should Zhou Jia answer this? If she answered truthfully, she didn't know if Yang Ming would be happy or not. Moreover, for Xia, Zhou Jia was hostile, but she had to imitate her. This made Zhou Jia very conflicted. Moreover, if Qin Mengyan continued to investigate the reason why they broke up, he would definitely be implicated. Therefore, this wasn't what Zhou Jia wanted to see, so Zhou Jia said vaguely, I was busy studying at that time. I didn't care about this. Why don't you ask Yang Ming? So it's like this. Although Qin Mengyan was a little disappointed, she felt that Zhou Jia's words were reasonable. When she was in junior high school, she didn't care about the outside world and only focused on studying. Yang Ming listened to the conversation between Zhou Jia and Qin Mengyan, and he had a feeling of fear. Good heavens, these two people can't not scare me, right? Qin Mengyan is a vinegar jar. If she found out something, wouldn't it be troublesome again? However, Zhou Jia's IQ was obviously not low. Yang Ming couldn't help but nod secretly on the side. This chick is very good at capturing people's hearts. In just a while, there seems to be a trend of getting along well. Hearing that Zhou Jia didn't say anything that shouldn't be said, Yang Ming was relieved. Chapter 367. Originally, Yang Ming thought that Zhou Jia wanted to take the opportunity to retaliate. She wanted to say some bad things about him in front of Qin Mengyan. But later, Yang Ming also felt that this possibility was very small, unless Zhou Jia wanted to be beaten again. Now, after listening to Zhou Jia's words, Yang Ming had some doubts. What does this chick want to do? Looking at her appearance, it seems that she is deliberately catering to Qin Mengyan. In this way, the two people can easily become good friends. This was what Yang Ming didn't want to see. He was very sensitive to Zhou Jia, this chick. He didn't want her to disturb his life again. But the current situation was that Zhou Jia didn't know why, but she kept trying to get close to him. If Zhou Jia said that she liked him, Yang Ming wouldn't believe it. The reason was obvious. The two people hadn't seen each other for several years. It was impossible to have any feelings. Besides, the only intersection between Zhou Jia and himself was the incident with Suyao in junior high school. But I found someone to beat Zhou Jia up. Could it be that because of this beating Zhou Jia had feelings for me? Could it be that she is the legendary S&M fan? Yang Ming thought evilly. If this is the case, then it's not bad to have her in my room. However, Yang Ming was just thinking about it. He wasn't stupid enough to think that Zhou Jia had this tendency. Since the start of university, he and Zhou Jia rarely spoke. If Zhou Jia only liked him after he entered university, that would be even more unreasonable. Therefore, Yang Ming had reason to think that Zhou Jia had ulterior motives. It was just that Yang Ming didn't see what Zhou Jia's intentions were. According to her current approach, she was purely looking for trouble. It wouldn't have any effect on Yang Ming. The restaurant was booked by Zhang Bin. It was a large hot pot chain restaurant. It was still a good choice to eat hot pot in winter. Especially when there were many people, it was more cost-effective to eat hot pot. Zhang Bin led the way in front and parked the car in the only empty space in the parking lot. When Yang Ming arrived, there was no more space in the parking lot. Who let today be Christmas Eve? There were simply too many people coming out to eat. Yang Ming had no choice. He didn't care about him anymore. He parked the car directly under the steps of the hot pot restaurant's entrance. It was reasonable to say that parking was not allowed here, but Yang Ming saw that a car on the side was also parked like this, so he also stopped. However, as soon as he parked the car, the security guard at the entrance of the hot pot restaurant walked over. When he saw Yang Ming's shabby car, he felt dizzy. Damn, if you were a Mercedes-Benz, BMW or Porsche, It would be fine if you parked it at the entrance. Even the Camry beside you is fine. At least it is considered a luxury car. What's with your lousy Jetta parked here? The paint was peeling off and there were traces of spray painting on the body of the car. Furthermore, the sound of the car driving was louder than that of a tractor. Isn't this a hindrance to the appearance of the city? So the security guard came over and knocked on the glass of Yang Ming's car and said, "Parking is not allowed at the entrance of the hotel. You should find another place." Yang Ming was stunned and asked with some confusion, "Isn't the car on the side parked?" "The car on the side, the car on the side." The security guard said, "Your car is too shabby. It will affect the beauty of the hotel entrance if you put it here." When Yang Ming heard it, he was immediately angry. "How is it beautiful? I am here to eat. What does it matter what car I drive? Even if I drive a Bentley, can I eat more than others?" When the security guard saw that Yang Ming was still here, he was somewhat impatient. "Anyway, parking is not allowed here. You can go. Don't eat in our house." Anyway, the security guard thought that he was not wrong. There were rules and regulations that were written like this. Pack. As soon as the security guard finished speaking, he felt a heavy blow to his face. He was so dizzy that he didn't know what was going on. Yang Ming was annoyed. "I am here to eat. I am a customer. I am a god. You actually want me to leave? Motherfucker. What's wrong with me driving a Jetta? Even if it is a scrap car and the quality is a little worse, you can't discriminate, right?" Seeing the quarrel here, the security captain also rushed over. When he saw Yang Ming's broken Jetta, he was shocked. The little security guard didn't know, but it was impossible for him not to know. The security captain was Bao Sanli's underling. This car belonged to the second-in-command Ho Junhan. He was quite clear about it. Therefore, there was no need to ask about this matter. No matter who was right or wrong, it was right to listen to the boss. The security captain didn't care about the little security guard who was crying to him. He directly swung his arm and slapped the other side of the little security guard's face. There was another earth-shattering sound. The little security guard finally gained weight for free under the pincer attack. "I'm sorry, everyone. This security guard is new. He doesn't know anything. Please come in." The security captain turned around and said to Yang Ming and the other two in a flattering manner. Although he didn't know what the relationship between these three people and Ho Junhan was, it was definitely related. Otherwise, it was impossible to drive Ho Junhan's car out. As for why he didn't think that this car might be stolen, the reason was very simple. First, this car wasn't worth stealing. It couldn't be sold for much money. Second, who dared to steal it? Even if it was stolen, Ho Junhan would give an order. Wouldn't the whole city look for the car? Although Yang Ming didn't know why the security captain had such a good attitude, he still nodded and said, "This car is my friend's. Help me look after it. Don't let people scratch it." The head of the security team thought to himself, "Who scratched this car? The paint is almost gone." However, because it was Ho Junhan's car, even if Yang Ming didn't say it, he had to do his best to look after it. As a result, there was a very strange phenomenon at the entrance of Hot Pot City. The security captain personally guarded a broken Jetta. "Yang Ming, why are you using violence again?" Qin Mengyan wasn't angry this time. After all, the security guard's words were too irritating. I don't think it's a big deal. This kind of person should be taught a lesson." Zhou Jejia smiled and said, "Mengyan, you look at his tone just now. Seems like he is very powerful." But later, the security captain was very reasonable, but his approach was a bit violent. Qin Mengyan nodded and agreed with Zhou Jejia's statement. Yang Ming shook his head. This Zhou Jejia followed him, but there were benefits to following him. She could actually coax Qin Mengyan, this jealous lover, so well. Moreover, she also helped him solve a lot of problems. Originally, Zhang Bin and Yang Ming both drove here. They agreed not to drink. However, they couldn't resist Tian Donghua's instigation. Later, they felt that Huahai 3D cinema wasn't too far from here. They simply left the car here after drinking and drove back tomorrow. Therefore, the three people asked for 6 bottles of beer and drank. What Yang Ming didn't expect was that Zhou Jejia had become very easygoing now. She wasn't as rigid as she was in junior high school. At least Yang Ming thought that she was very rigid. If Zhou Jejia heard Yang Ming's evaluation of her, she would definitely cry out that she was wronged. "I wasn't rigid at that time. I was just a little stupid. I naively thought that if I broke up Yang Ming and Xia Yang Ming would like me. Because they came out to relax today, the four girls also asked for a bottle of red wine. Qin Mingyan's alcohol tolerance was obviously not good. After drinking this low-alcohol fruit wine, her little face became red. Zhao Sisi was obviously fine. She was the one who could drink the most. This made Zhang Bin very proud. In business, women also need to be able to drink. The security captain had already asked the location of the private room where Yang Ming was. He quickly asked the lobby manager to send a fruit plate and a few plates of hot pot vegetables. Yang Ming and the others thought that the service of the hot pot restaurant was better. They praised the economy here and wanted to come here to eat next time. The meal took about 2 hours. Looking at the time, it was almost 8 o'clock. The movie started at 8:30. It was almost time. So Yang Ming and the group got up to pay the bill and left the private room. Although Yang Ming, Zhang Bin and Tian Donghua drank a lot of wine, they were only a little drunk. It didn't affect their actions. Outside the hotel, Yang Ming saw that the security captain was still standing next to his car. So he walked over and patted his shoulder and said, "Buddy, I am going to watch the movie. I will leave the car with you first. How about you help me take care of it?" "No problem." The security captain nodded immediately after hearing it. "You go. I will be here." Yang Ming was a little surprised. Why is this security captain so enthusiastic? But after thinking about it, it was worth attributing it to the hotel owner's management. How would he know that there was also a reason for Ho Junhan? Wahai 3D Cinema was only a stop away from here. It would take more than 10 minutes to walk. It was just enough to sober up. Besides, the streets were busy now. It wasn't boring. Chapter 368. "Sir, do you want to buy flowers?" A weak voice asked. Yang Ming looked up and saw a little girl holding a bunch of flowers and looking at him pitifully. "How much?" asked Yang Ming. 10 yuan. The little girl said carefully. Christmas flowers were more expensive. Yang Ming also knew that. He saw that the little girl was pitiful, so he said, "Then I'll buy one." As Yang Ming said this, he took out 10 yuan. "Big brother, can you buy a few more?" The little girl said anxiously, "I beg you. I only sold 6 today. If I sell less, I will be beaten at night." "Beaten?" Yang Ming frowned. "What do you mean?" "Big brother, don't ask." When the little girl spoke, her eyes glanced at a bench not far away. Yang Ming followed the little girl's gaze and saw a fierce-looking man sitting on the bench smoking. He looked around from time to time. Yang Ming immediately understood that this guy must be the leader of an illegal network of children selling flowers. Obviously, there was more than one child selling flowers here. Yang Ming sighed. Although he wanted to intervene in this kind of thing, he couldn't do anything. If he stepped forward, the man would definitely say that this little girl was his daughter or simply push the blame away. However, Yang Ming didn't intend to let him go. "Zhang Bin, Tian Donghua, come and buy flowers for your girlfriend." Yang Ming summoned them. Yang Ming bought flowers for Qin Mingyan. Tian Donghua and Zhang Bin naturally had to pay for it. No one would not do this kind of face thing. As the first girl in the group to receive a flower, Qin Mingyan was still very happy. Therefore Qin Mingyan was generous for once. She pulled Yang Ming and whispered, "Yang Ming, Zhou Jiejie didn't have a flower yet. She didn't receive one. How embarrassing. Why don't you buy one for her?" Yang Ming was stunned. Buy flowers for Zhou Jiejie? What kind of joke is this? However, seeing Qin Mingyan's eager eyes, Yang Ming couldn't bear to refuse. Forget it. Qin Mingyan was rarely generous. Yang Ming simply nodded and said, "Okay." Therefore Yang Ming took out another 10 yuan and bought a rose. The little girl was naturally very happy and sold another business. "This is for you." Yang Ming extended his hand with the flowers in front of Zhou Jiejie. Zhou Jiejie's face immediately showed an unbelievable expression with surprise, excitement and a hint of hesitation. What is Yang Ming doing? Is he messing with me? Happiness came too quickly. Zhou Jiejie felt that it was somewhat unreal. Although she had just heard the words between Qin Mingyan and Yang Ming, she knew that this rose didn't represent any special meaning. He was just afraid that she would be embarrassed, so he bought it for her. However, Zhou Jiejie understood Yang Ming's character very well. She was very clear about Yang Ming's attitude towards her. Now, no matter what, Yang Ming could buy flowers for her. It showed that the relationship between the two people still had signs of easing. However, Zhou Jiejie also once again recognized the position of Qin Mingyan in Yang Ming's heart. Yes, this woman's position in Yang Ming's heart was no less than Suya. In other words, if she got the approval of Qin Mengyan, then she wasn't far from her ideal goal. In any case, Suya had become a thing of the past. Now Qin Mengyan was Yang Ming's pillow. Therefore Zhou Jiejia felt that it was necessary to adjust her plan. As for Suya, she could get her forgiveness in the future. Zhou Jiejia trembled as she took the rose in Yang Ming's hand. She was so excited that she didn't know what to say. Wang Shui smiled and looked at Zhou Jiejia with a deep meaning. Jiejia, why are you trembling? Are you cold? As she said this, she gave Zhou Jiejia a look. Yang Ming also wanted to ask this question, but he didn't expect Wang Shui to say it first. After receiving Wang Shui's hint, Zhou Jiejia quickly hid her emotions. Yes, Qin Mengyan was still in front of me. I couldn't show any inappropriateness. Otherwise, the friendship that I just established with her would definitely be broken in an instant. If Qin Mengyan had the intention of guarding against me, then my previous efforts would be in vain. Zhou Jiejia suddenly woke up and said quickly, yes, it's a bit cold. I'm wearing less. Yang Ming didn't doubt her. He nodded and didn't say anything. Zhou Jiejia pinched the rose tightly as if she was afraid that it would disappear. From time to time she looked at the rose with the corner of her eyes. There was a slight smile that was imperceptible at the corner of her mouth. Wang Shui sighed secretly. Zhou Jiejia, why are you so easily satisfied? It's just a flower and I didn't buy it specifically for you. You're so happy. Indeed, Zhou Jiejia now had a feeling of dizziness. It was the feeling of being hit by happiness. Today's Zhou Jiejia was very easy to be satisfied, just like many little girls who longed for happiness. A little surprise would make her happy for a long time. Zhou Jiejia felt that she didn't come out in vain today. At least she received a flower, right? Although Zhou Jiejia usually received flowers from boys, Yang Ming's gift couldn't be the same as those boys. Although there was only one flower, Zhou Jiejia regarded it as a treasure. While walking to the cinema, Yang Ming took out his mobile phone and called Qin Fei. Forcing a child to sell flowers, this kind of thing naturally had to be dealt with by the police. Hello, Uncle Qin, I'm Yang Ming. Yang Ming said. Oh, Yang Ming, it's so late. Why are you looking for Uncle Qin? Asked Qin Fei. Uncle Qin, this is the case. I just bought a rose at the entrance of KFC on Huahai Street. I found that the child seemed to be controlled by a criminal group. Moreover, there were some children who were being forced nearby. Yang Ming said, I suspect that the person who instigated these children is nearby. You went to Huahai Street? Buy flowers? Are you going out to play with your girlfriend? Asked Qin Fei. Yeah, Yang Ming laughed. With your high school classmate. Is it the study commissary? Qin Fei asked again. Yang Ming nodded. He didn't understand why Qin Fei asked so carefully. Oh, you guys made up? Qin Fei continued to ask. Right, the Disney set that I suggested you to send last time was very effective, right? Yes. But Uncle Qin, shouldn't you care about the children's problems first? Why are you always interested in my private life? Yang Ming broke into a sweat. What has been recorded? After Xia Shui saw it, she brought people to the police station. Qin Fei said, do you want Uncle Qin to personally lead the team? This isn't a big case. Oh, Sister Xia Shui went. Good. Yang Ming thought Xia Shui is a violent girl who hates evil. The leader is going to be unlucky. Then I won't bother you guys. You guys have fun. Qin Fei said, right Yang Ming, I'm still against premarital sex. Don't let me down. What? Yang Ming hung up the phone in shock. He thought, why is Uncle Qin more concerned about my matters than my own mother? Premarital sex? Why do you care? This isn't against the law. Yang Ming, who are you calling? Qin Mengyan asked softly. Oh, I called the police. Yang Ming didn't have to hide. Right, did you notice that the little girl who sold the flower seemed to be forced? And I thought it was strange at the time. Now that you said it, it really felt like this. Qin Mengyan nodded and then said to Yang Ming, you wait for me. I will call my family. Yang Ming didn't feel anything, so he nodded. Qin Mengyan called her family. Yang Ming naturally didn't want to eavesdrop, so he deliberately walked a few steps faster. Qin Mengyan was very kind. When she heard that the children were forced, her sympathy immediately came up. Although Yang Ming called the police, Qin Mengyan was afraid that the police station didn't pay enough attention, so she called her father. Dad, I'm Mengyan. Qin Mengyan said. What's wrong? Why are you looking for Dad? Qin Fei was puzzled. Why did his daughter call when Yang Ming hung up the phone? Are they not together? That's not right. Didn't Yang Ming say that they were together? Could it be that there was someone else? That I have something to tell you. So, Qin Mengyan talked about the little girl who sold the flowers. Qin Fei couldn't help but be speechless after listening. It seems that his daughter and son-in-law have a strong sense of justice. Mengyan, we have received the police report. The police have been dispatched, so you don't have to worry. Qin Fei said with a smile. Right, Meng, where are you? Who are you with? Chapter 369. That. My classmate and I. Qin Mengyan said hesitantly. Your classmate bought you flowers? Qin Fei smiled strangely after listening. Is it that Yang Ming? And Qin Mengyan's answer was the same as Yang Ming's, but she was more shy. Hee, then you have fun. Qin Fei hung up the phone after saying that. Qin Mengyan was somewhat inexplicable. How did Dad guess that it was Yang Ming? I almost didn't mention Yang Ming's name recently. It's really strange. The 7 people came to the door of Huahai Cinema and the problem came. Yang Ming had 3 couples tickets in his hand. Now there were 7 people. Could they go in? Even if they went in, who would Zhou Jiejie sit with? However, Zhou Jiejie might have reached a consensus with Wang Shui. Zhou Jiejie, Wang Shui and Tian Donghua were in a private room. Moreover, Wang Shui also agreed with this proposal. After all, the relationship between Wang Shui and Tian Donghua was just established. It hadn't developed to a very intimate level. In this way, with Zhou Jiejie, Tian Donghua couldn't do too much to Wang Shui. Although Tian Donghua felt a little uncomfortable, there was no other way. It was good enough that Wang Shui could accompany him, so he had to agree with Wang Shui's statement and bring Zhou Jiejie along. Anyway, the space in the couple's compartment was very spacious. It wasn't a problem for 3 people to sit. However, even if they reached a consensus, there was still a small problem when they entered the cinema. Sir, there are 7 of you, but there are only 3 couples tickets. 1 person is not allowed to enter, said the ticket inspector at the entrance of the cinema. Not allowed? Why? Wang Shui couldn't accept it. She pointed to the couple tickets and said, there is no rule here that only 2 people can enter. But, aren't couples always 2 people? The ticket inspector had a headache. It wasn't written on the ticket, but was it necessary to write it? Everyone knew what was going on, right? Who said that couples must be 2 people? When Tian Donghua heard Wang Shui speak, how could he not show off? Can't we be a 3-person couple? Haven't you seen a threesome before? Yeah, let's have a threesome. Wang Shui added. The ticketing officer was about to faint. He had been ticketing tickets for several years, but this was the first time he had encountered such a situation. Yang Ming and Zhang Bin also looked at Wang Shui in amazement. Isn't this chick too fierce? How could he dare to say anything? However, when he thought about it, it was true that birds of a feather flock together. Tian Donghua was fierce first, and Wang Shui was just following his wife's lead. How is it? Can we go in now? Tian Donghua said to the speechless ticket inspector. But the ticket inspector was now rendered speechless by Tian Donghua and Wang Shui. What she said seemed to make a lot of sense. Your ticket didn't say that there were 2 couples. What's wrong with her saying that there were 3? 3P, threesome. That's evil. If there's nothing else, we're going in. Yang Ming handed the ticket to the ticketing officer. The ticketing officer was still hesitating, but when he saw the number of the ticket, he immediately shut up. The numbers on these 3 tickets were A001 to A003. They were the 5 best seats in the first row of the couple partition. Those who could get these tickets weren't ordinary people. Therefore, the ticketing officer simply didn't want to be a busybody. Even if the boss knew, he wouldn't blame him. The first 5 tickets were originally tickets for favors. They were given out, so it didn't make a difference if there was 1 more person or 1 less person going in. The cinema wouldn't lose anything. Those who could get the first 3 tickets were ruthless people, so it didn't matter if it was a threesome or threesome. Even if it was a group threesome, it was none of his business. So he raised his hand and let them go. The 7 people found their seats. Yang Ming asked for the A003 partition in the middle. The location here was the best. The first row of couple partitions had 5 seats, so Yang Ming's seat wouldn't be disturbed by people going to the toilet on both sides. What is threesome? Qin Mengyan was more pure. Naturally, she didn't understand such obscure words. Ordinary words such as masturbating and exoc could barely be understood, but threesome was a less common word. Obviously she didn't understand. It's 1 man and 2 women, Yang Ming explained. 1 man and 2 women? Just like Tian Donghua, Wang Shui and Zhou Jiajia? Asked Qin Mengyan. Not really, how do I say it, it's just going to bed together. Yang Ming felt that it wasn't very good to say it directly to Qin Mengyan, but subconsciously Yang Ming felt that if Lan Ling came back, maybe he would have a threesome one day. Now that he had the opportunity, he wanted to instill this idea in Qin Mengyan. It's disgusting, Qin Mengyan sneered. She saw Yang Ming was actually laughing and she was suddenly annoyed. Do you think so too? Yang Ming was shocked and blurted out, how did you know? You are going to die. I'm telling you, Yang Ming, you are dreaming. It's impossible. Qin Mengyan said coldly. It's just a joke. Yang Ming smiled awkwardly. He was careless and his true thoughts were discovered by Qin Mengyan. Qin Mengyan naturally didn't want to continue to pursue this matter with Yang Ming. They had been in a cold war for so long. Qin Mengyan was also a little scared. So she just scolded him. Although Qin Mengyan was still brooding about Lan Ling's matter, she had already tacitly accepted this fact in her subconscious. Otherwise, what could she do? Let Yang Ming break up with her? Never mind that Yang Ming wouldn't agree emotionally. Even if Yang Ming agreed, Qin Mengyan wouldn't agree. Breaking up was equivalent to personally killing Yang Ming. Yang Ming was dead. What was there to fight about? Wasn't that a problem? Therefore, Qin Mengyan also forced herself not to think about Lan Ling's matter. Anyway, out of sight, out of mind. Don't make jokes in the future. And I don't want to mention that person. Qin Mengyan hesitated and said. Then you mean, you are ready to accept Lan Ling? Yang Ming was happy after listening. I didn't say that I accept and I don't plan to accept in the future. Qin Mengyan paused and continued, the matter between you two has nothing to do with me. I don't want to have anything to do with her. You mean, the two of us, and me and her, don't interfere with each other? Yang Ming roughly understood Qin Mengyan's meaning. Maybe. You can think of it this way. Qin Mengyan said with some helplessness and pain, in short, I won't look for her but you can't let me see her. Yang Ming's mood now was very happy. This was the precursor to success. As long as Qin Mengyan didn't pursue Lan Ling's matter, then other things could be discussed later. However, on the surface Yang Ming still pretended to be very painful. In fact, it couldn't be said that he was pretending. Yang Ming's heart was indeed full of guilt now. I'm sorry. Qin Mengyan shook her head and looked at Yang Ming. Her eyes were full of tenderness. I love you, so I am selfish and suspicious. But also because I love you I can indulge you. Having said this, Qin Mengyan bit her lip. Indeed, this decision was undoubtedly very painful for her. But Qin Mengyan had to make this decision. She knew that Lan Ling's problem was always an important factor that hindered the development of their relationship. Only by solving this factor could the two of them be better together. Otherwise, if they were both on guard against each other, could it still be called a relationship? It was almost the same as playing infernal affairs. This was naturally not what Qin Mengyan wanted. She really wanted to go back to the days when they were in high school. At that time their relationship was so harmonious. Although Yang Ming was sometimes perverted, Qin Mengyan didn't dislike it. Qin Mengyan felt that she was not like Yang Ming's girlfriend at all now. The two of them looked like they were together but they were apart. There were many things about Yang Ming that she didn't know. She didn't know what he was doing every day and she didn't know what he was thinking. Qin Mengyan was going crazy. She didn't want to be like this. Therefore she took the initiative to give in. Before coming to watch the movie, Qin Mengyan had already made a decision. Today, on this special day, she was ready to lay her cards on the table with Yang Ming and put everything on the table. In this way there would be no gap between the two of them. However, although Qin Mengyan gave in, there was also a limit. Although she acquiesced to Lan Ling's existence, she didn't say that she would accept it. Of course, this was already Qin Mengyan's limit. It was not easy to let our female lead, the jealous student, make such a concession. At least Yang Ming was quite satisfied now. Yang Ming listened to Qin Mengyan's words and his heart was suddenly touched. He gently hugged Qin Mengyan and Qin Mengyan seemed to be aware of something and quietly closed her eyes. Chapter 370. Kissing was no stranger to Yang Ming. He wasn't a virgin anymore. He had kissed Lan Ling and Xiaoqing before, but it was his first time kissing Qin Mengyan. Yang Ming smelled the faint fragrance of Qin Mengyan and he was somewhat obsessed. Yes, although Yang Ming's feelings for Lan Ling and Xiaoqing were very deep, and they had a closer relationship, Yang Ming's feelings for Qin Mengyan were very special. He had a crush on her for 3 years in high school. What was the concept? Moreover, the identity of Yang Ming and Qin Mengyan had a gap between heaven and earth. Study commissary and poor student. At that time, Qin Mengyan was like a goddess in Yang Ming's heart, and one day he could actually hug the goddess in his heart and let her take advantage of him. Yang Ming felt a lot of emotions. Qin Mengyan closed her eyes and waited nervously for that moment to come. Seeing that Yang Ming didn't move for a long time, she couldn't help but be anxious. What is Yang Ming doing? Why is he so slow? Can't he kiss? Qin Mengyan was a little annoyed. Didn't he do it with Lan Ling? How can he not know? Qin Mengyan was getting angrier as she thought about it. She subconsciously opened her eyes and saw Yang Ming looking at her in a daze. She was even angrier. Yang Ming, what are you doing? Let me go. As she said this, she pushed Yang Ming away. Yang Ming was suddenly overwhelmed. And what's wrong with you? Humph. Qin Mengyan snorted and didn't answer. That, you are really beautiful. I just looked at you like a fool. Yang Ming finally realized why Qin Mengyan was angry. He quickly explained with a smile. Yes, who wouldn't be angry? The girl closed her eyes and waited for you to kiss her, but you dropped the ball at the crucial moment. It would be strange if she didn't die from anger. It would be good if she didn't beat him up. However, Yang Ming's explanation was still very appropriate, which made Qin Mengyan very happy. She pouted playfully, is that so? Am I prettier or is Lan Ling prettier? As soon as the words left her mouth, Qin Mengyan felt that she had asked a stupid question. First of all, she was Yang Ming's real girlfriend. Wouldn't she be lowering herself by comparing herself to Lan Ling? Secondly, Qin Mengyan had also read some posts on the internet, which said that smart women would never ask such questions. When Yang Ming heard Qin Mengyan's question, he was also very embarrassed. He didn't know how to answer. The two of them really couldn't be compared. They each had their own unique characteristics and were completely different types of beauty. Qin Mengyan was pure and beautiful while Lan Ling was adorable and cute. Both of them had their own unique characteristics. If he had to say, it would be a tie. Qin Mengyan also realized that her question was inappropriate, but she had already said it. There was no way to take it back. Moreover, she really wanted to hear Yang Ming's opinion. Mengyan, you should be clear. Although I don't deny that the reason why I like you is also because of your beauty, the important thing is that I like you as a person. If you simply think who is prettier and who isn't, then Zhou Jiajia is also very beautiful. Why don't I like her? Yang Ming said, you are irreplaceable in my heart and it's the same for Lan Ling. So I can't answer this question. If I say that you are prettier than Lan Ling, you may be very happy. But if one day Lan Ling also asks me the same question, then how should I answer? I know In fact, Yang Ming's current answer was still quite satisfactory to Qin Mengyan. Although he didn't say that she was prettier than Lan Ling, Qin Mengyan hoped to hear Yang Ming's heartfelt words that didn't hide from her. If couples were hypocritical and polite, then how could they be called a couple? Therefore Qin Mengyan didn't have any displeasure. On the contrary, she was very happy. Since you know, then let's continue our unfinished task. Yang Ming said with a smile. Stop it. What are you saying? Qin Mengyan was embarrassed and lowered her head. You have already done it. Why are you still shy? Yang Ming originally drank wine. Although it wasn't a lot, he was a little confused when the alcohol came up. Yang Ming began to speak without thinking. Who did it with you? Qin Mengyan's face suddenly sank. She could still understand this word. She couldn't help but be angry. Did you recognize the wrong person? Yang Ming was stunned, but he immediately realized that his wording was wrong. In all honesty, he just said it casually. Qin Mengyan probably thought that he treated her as someone else. I'm talking about the fact that you've helped me, and I've touched that part of yours. I'm talking about doing this. Yang Ming was quick-witted and started to talk nonsense. However, Qin Mengyan still believed it. Suddenly, her face turned red. Isn't it because you lied to me? You said that your private part is broken, and you want me to treat it. Don't think that I'm a fool. I was a little confused at the time. After that, I understood that it was your conspiracy. I just didn't expose you to save your face. You dare to say it? You know all about it? Yang Ming sweated. He thought that his deception was flawless. He didn't know that Qin Mengyan had already seen through it. What do you want to do in the future? Just say it directly. I'm not. Qin Mengyan stopped talking and didn't continue. However, the meaning was already obvious. That was, if Yang Ming wanted to do something, she wouldn't be too opposed. Yang Ming was happy when he heard it. He certainly understood Qin Mengyan's meaning, so he said directly, Mengyan, let's kiss. What? Qin Mengyan was shocked by Yang Ming's sudden straightforwardness. She hadn't reacted yet. While she was in a daze, she felt that her mouth was overbearingly sealed by Yang Ming. Qin Mengyan snorted twice, but she couldn't hear what she was saying. Although Qin Mengyan felt that it was quite sudden, she didn't struggle, nor did she reject it. Instead, she was silently kissed by Yang Ming. What should come will come, right? Qin Mengyan was obviously kissing for the first time. She was very inexperienced. She completely relied on Yang Ming's guidance step by step. When she felt Yang Ming's tongue go deep into her mouth, Qin Mengyan was stunned. However, she also learned from Yang Ming and slowly followed. However, Qin Mengyan's heart was still a little bit unsatisfied. Why? This is my first kiss, but Yang Ming isn't. However, this thought had just arisen. Before she had time to think about it, Qin Mengyan felt that Yang Ming's hand was slowly climbing up her chest. Although she was wearing thick clothes, Qin Mengyan still couldn't help but tremble. Her mind immediately became blank. She was a little dumbfounded. Am I developing too fast with Yang Ming? Should I let him touch me? Qin Mengyan hesitated. However, another voice sounded in Qin Mengyan's mind. Fast? You two have been together for more than half a year since senior high school. Zhao Cixi slept with you in a few months. Besides, didn't I touch you before? If I stop Yang Ming now, won't I be too pretentious? Will Yang Ming be unhappy? As she was thinking about it, Yang Ming's hand began to knead her chest. Qin Mengyan couldn't help but let out a moan. Qin Mengyan was obviously inexperienced. Because she hadn't fully mastered the key of breathing during a kiss, she felt that it was difficult to breathe after kissing with Yang Ming for a while. Especially now when her heart beat faster and her breathing accelerated, Qin Mengyan was even more upset. Who? Qin Mengyan pushed Yang Ming away and took a deep breath. Then she looked up and suddenly found that Yang Ming was looking at her with an inexplicable look. Qin Mengyan then remembered that she gave up halfway. She quickly explained with embarrassment that, I am a little out of breath. After Yang Ming heard it, he couldn't help but be dumbfounded. Out of breath. You can use your nose, or when we kiss, and tilt your head slightly. There will be a gap between the two of us. Then you can breathe. It's my first time. How would I know? Qin Mengyan rolled her eyes at Yang Ming. Who is like you? So experienced. I am kindly guiding you. Why are you talking about my experience? I am self-taught. Yang Ming quibbled. In fact, when he kissed Lan Ling for the first time, both of them were burning with desire. It was a messy kiss. There was no pattern at all. However, it seemed that this wasn't Yang Ming's first kiss. The first person he kissed seemed to be Lin Jiun. Moreover, it was 100% her. It was just that Yang Ming's memory at that time was incomplete. He forgot what it felt like. Chapter 371. Liar. How can someone learn this kind of thing without a teacher? Qin Mengyan scolded him with a smile. However, she was satisfied with Yang Ming's explanation. The more Yang Ming explained, the more it proved that Yang Ming loved her. If he didn't explain, then it would be over. It's true. Otherwise, look at the book. It's written that male and female students went to the wild for an adventure and got lost there. After N years, they were rescued with a child. If it wasn't self-taught, did they learn it from animals? Yang Ming thought of a plot in a novel. Nonsense. Qin Mengyan naturally knew that what Yang Ming said was probably true, but she didn't want to agree with his point of view. Yang Ming smiled and extended his arm to take Qin Mengyan into his arms. It will be New Year's Day in a few days. How about coming to my house? Qin Mengyan was stunned. Meet the parents? So soon? Although Qin Mengyan had already recognized Yang Ming, she still said with some embarrassment, Is this okay? We are only in our first year of university. What's not okay? My mom already knew about you. She always told me to bring you to my house as a guest. Yang Ming said, Why? Are you embarrassed? Who's embarrassed? It's just that if I go, will your mom be fierce to me? Qin Mengyan was a little worried. She had seen a few TV dramas where mother-in-law and daughter-in-law didn't get along, so she was scared. How can she? My mom's biggest wish now is for me to bring a daughter-in-law back. He definitely likes you. Besides, didn't you talk to my mom on the phone? Yang Ming said. Then Qin Mengyan felt that this was quite embarrassing, but her heart was very sweet. Yang Ming brought me home. What does that mean? It means that my position in Yang Ming's heart is very important. Bringing me to see his parents is indirectly confirming my identity as the daughter-in-law of the Yang family. That Lan Ling definitely didn't receive such treatment, right? The reason was simple. If Yang Ming had brought Lan Ling home before, then it was impossible for him to bring him back. Therefore, Qin Mengyan only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. Then shouldn't I make some preparations? What should I buy? And how should I dress up? Is it more mature or more youthful? Qin Mengyan asked at a loss. You're just like how you usually are. You look pretty good today. Yang Ming smiled and said, as for the things, let's go buy them together. My father is willing to drink, so let's buy him 2 bottles of good wine. Well, okay, I'll listen to you. Qin Mengyan nodded and said. After settling this matter, Yang Ming also breathed a sigh of relief. In the beginning, he made a military order in front of his mother to bring Qin Mengyan home during Chinese New Year. At that time, their relationship was in a Cold War, so Yang Ming was very worried. After all, feelings couldn't be reconciled just because they wanted to. Now that this psychological problem was solved, Yang Ming was also a lot more relaxed. Finally, he had an explanation for his mother. Wait, I need to go to the toilet. Just now he drank too much and didn't go to the toilet. A burst of urination came, so Yang Ming quickly said. Qin Mengyan was speechless. The two of them had a strong friendship. Originally, the atmosphere was just right for another kiss. In fact, Qin Mengyan was also reminiscing about the feeling just now. It was like an electric shock. It was soft and numb, and it was very addictive. Although it was a little difficult to breathe for the first time, it could still be overcome. However, she didn't expect Yang Ming to actually say such disappointing words. Yang Ming got up and passed by Zhang Bin's partition. Zhang Bin asked casually, "Where are you going?" "To the toilet." Yang Ming replied. "Wait for me. I'll go too." Zhang Bin also drank too much and was preparing to go to the toilet. The two people passed by Zhang Bin's partition. Tian Donghua also asked the same question as Zhang Bin. "Where are you going?" "To go to the toilet." Zhang Bin replied, "Are you going?" "Let's go together." Tian Donghua also stood up and the 3 people went to the toilet together. Zhou Jejia saw that Yang Ming and the others had gone out, so she stood up and walked to the partition where Qin Mengyan was. What she had to do now was to use all possible opportunities to have a good relationship with Qin Mengyan. "Hey, Jejia, why are you here?" Qin Mengyan was stunned. She didn't expect Zhou Jejia to come over at this time. "I didn't have any reason to stay there, so I just stood up and walked around." Hee. Zhou Jejia said casually, making Qin Mengyan feel that she didn't come here deliberately. Zhou Jejia was actually a very smart and scheming woman. Otherwise, she couldn't become a genius hacker. However, when it came to dealing with Yang Ming, she was always stupid. This may be the case of one thing conquering another. "Yeah, Yang Ming and Wang Shui, you are next to them. It's really awkward." Qin Mengyan remembered what she had just done with Yang Ming, and she couldn't help but blush. If there was a third party present at the time, not only would they be awkward, but wouldn't the third party be even more awkward? And it's quite redundant. I guess Tian Donghua hates me, right? Zhou Jejia said self-deprecatingly. Qin Mengyan had just experienced passion with Yang Ming. Naturally, she understood Zhou Jejia's awkward heart, so she comforted her. "It's okay. Why don't you find a boyfriend? It will be much better the next time you come out to play." "Boyfriend?" Zhou Jejia smiled bitterly and shook her head. "I like him, but he doesn't like me." Seeing Zhou Jejia's disappointed look, Qin Mengyan couldn't help but feel sad. She didn't expect Zhou Jejia to have a one-sided love. Such a beautiful girl actually has a one-sided love. "Does he know that you like him?" Qin Mengyan asked with some sympathy. "Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't know, but he seems to hate me," Zhou Jejia said faintly. "Hate? It can't be. You are so beautiful. How can a boy hate you?" Qin Mengyan was a bit puzzled. Don't many boys take a girl's appearance as the first criterion for choosing a partner? "What's the use of being beautiful?" Zhou Jejia shook her head. "You are so happy, me?" Qin Mengyan was a bit bitter after listening. "Happy?" Yes, I used to be very happy, but because of Lan Ling's matter, there was a trace of a grudge in the originally pure love. What's wrong? Zhou Jiajia saw that Qin Mingyan's face wasn't very good. It seemed that there was something that was difficult to say, so she asked. Qin Mingyan wouldn't easily tell her own thoughts to others, let alone Zhou Jiajia, who wasn't familiar with her. But today she drank some wine and was a little drunk, so she couldn't help but say, Zhou Jiajia, if your boyfriend likes other girls besides you, what will you do? Zhou Jiajia was stunned. What does Qin Mingyan mean by this? Could it be that she noticed something? Thinking of this, she couldn't help but be shocked. But when she looked up and saw that Qin Mingyan's expression was normal, except for some sadness in her eyes, there was no anger and hatred. She was relieved and sighed. I don't know. I only know that if he likes me a little bit, I will be satisfied. Who cares if he likes others? Qin Mingyan listened to Zhou Jiajia's words and couldn't help but be surprised. Zhou Jiajia can actually say such a thing. Like him a little bit. Qin Mingyan looked at Zhou Jiajia. What kind of girl is this? Her love for a person had actually reached such a level. She can be so indulgent to her lover. Qin Mingyan looked at Zhou Jiajia with some incomprehension. You really don't care if he has other girlfriends? Why should I care? Zhou Jiajia shook her head. I care so much. In the end, I am still worried about myself. Besides, do I have the qualification to care? No. I just want a little bit of love. I will be very satisfied. Really? Qin Mingyan shook her head helplessly. Could it be that his thinking was too traditional? Zhao Ying persuaded me like this. Zhou Jiajia's theory was even more shocking. Am I wrong? Love is selfish. Is it so difficult to have a complete love? I think so. Zhou Jiajia smiled. The reason why she said those words just now was to give Qin Mingyan a dose of precaution so that she could be mentally prepared. Then I wish you a dream come true. Qin Mingyan didn't know what to say. She had to comfort Zhou Jiajia. However, this was exactly what Zhou Jiajia wanted to hear most. These words were said by Qin Mingyan, which made her very happy. Chapter 372. After Yang Ming released the water, he felt dizzy. It seemed that the alcohol was kicking in. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. It seemed that my alcohol tolerance had dropped a lot. I was a little confused after drinking only 6 bottles. It turned out that I was fine after drinking half a box. Yang Ming and the other 2 staggered back to the cinema and entered their own cubicle. Because the cinema was relatively dark, Yang Ming was still in a confused state. The most important thing was that Yang Ming didn't know that Zhou Jiajia would be in his cubicle, so he didn't use his special ability to look carefully. Yang Ming didn't even think about it. He sat next to Zhou Jiajia and hugged her directly. He kissed her little mouth. Zhou Jiajia was dumbfounded at the time. Yang Ming kissed me? What's going on? Is he interested in me? However, this was also for a moment. After thinking about it, Zhou Jiajia understood the truth of the matter. Yang Ming definitely wanted to kiss Qin Mingyan. He didn't expect that I would appear here, so he subconsciously thought of me as Qin Mingyan. Then what should I do now? Should I push him away and tell him the truth? Zhou Jiajia's heart was swaying. Zhou Jiajia didn't reject Yang Ming's kiss at all. And to be honest, Zhou Jiajia was a little happy. Kissing the person she liked was what she had always dreamed of. But now Yang Ming actually didn't know that she was the one he was kissing. This made Zhou Jiajia a little depressed. Yes, Yang Ming thought of me as Qin Mingyan. I'm just a substitute. Forget it. Don't think so much. Let's just make the best of it. Consider it as indulging myself once and rewarding myself once. Only by tasting the sweetness can I continue to work hard in the future. Zhou Jiajia clenched her small fist. She didn't refuse nor cater. That's right. Firstly, it was her first time kissing, so she didn't know how to do it. Secondly, if she was too proactive, Qin Mingyan would see through her and she would be done for. Yang Ming's tongue had already entered Zhou Jiajia's mouth. Zhou Jiajia also let him take advantage of her. The 2 people were willing. Although they didn't have a tacit understanding, they were very coordinated. However, soon Yang Ming felt that something was not quite right. This doesn't seem to be the same as before. This mouth seemed to be slightly smaller than Qin Mingyan's. Furthermore, there was a faint scent of mint. Yang Ming clearly remembered that he and Qin Mingyan were eating lemon-flavored chewing gum just now. Where did this peppermint smell come from? However, it was a pity that Yang Ming's current thinking was a little slow. Although he felt that something was wrong, he didn't think about why. It was because he didn't think that the person he was kissing wasn't Qin Mengyan. Yang Ming was still a little puzzled. Qin Mengyan was more proactive just now. Why was she retreating? Could it be that this little girl was shy? Qin Mengyan also looked at the scene in front of her in a daze. Her own boyfriend hugging another girl and kissing her passionately. Isn't this too ridiculous and exciting? Qin Mengyan didn't know what to do at that time. After looking for a long time, she suddenly realized and suddenly shouted, "Ah! Yang Ming, what are you doing?" Yang Ming was stunned. Qin Mengyan asked me what I am doing? Am I not kissing you? You are asking the obvious. No. Yang Ming finally thought of something. I am sealing Qin Mengyan's mouth. How can she say that? Yang Ming suddenly became sober. He quickly looked at the person in front of him carefully. He couldn't help but be shocked. It's actually Zhou Jiejia. I kissed Zhou Jiejia. Yang Ming was so scared that he pushed Zhou Jiejia away and stuttered, Why are you here? Zhou Jiejia's face was frighteningly red. She was a little ashamed when she was questioned by Yang Ming. Yes, the calmness when facing Qin Mengyan just now suddenly disappeared without a trace. In front of Yang Ming there was only panic, heartbeat and shyness left. Zhou Jiejia made a sound and pushed Yang Ming away. She lowered her head and quickly ran out of Yang Ming's partition and left. Yang Ming was stunned as he looked at the direction Zhou Jiejia left. He had a lot of thoughts. What is going on? How could such a huge blunder happen? Qin Mengyan looked at Yang Ming with an angry face. Her eyes were about to spit out fire. Yes, who wouldn't be angry about this? My boyfriend kissed another person in front of me. It would be strange if I wasn't angry. Mengyan, that... Yang Ming was a little embarrassed and didn't know what to say. Qin Mengyan snorted, You are really good. You did this kind of thing in front of me. Mengyan, you also saw it. It was a misunderstanding. Thought she was you. Yang Ming touched his chin and said with a bitter smile, The light here is so dim. How can I see clearly? Who would have thought that she would actually run into our partition? You can't even tell me apart. Qin Mengyan asked with a cold smile. That, it wasn't me. Yang Ming didn't know what to say, but this matter couldn't be blamed on him. Although it couldn't be said that he didn't have any responsibility, this was just a misunderstanding. Don't explain. Explaining is trying to cover up the truth. Qin Mengyan said. Mengyan, can you stop fooling around? Yang Ming was a little anxious. Did I do it on purpose? It was so dark. Who could see clearly? Besides, if I did it on purpose, why didn't I find a place with no one to kiss her secretly? I didn't need to do it in front of you. Why are you being so fierce? You are still being reasonable. Qin Mengyan pouted her mouth and said with some grievance, I feel bad in my heart. Can't you just let me vent? You are so stingy. If I was really angry with you, do you think I would still sit here and talk to you? Forget it, forget it. I was wrong. I was wrong. Yang Ming shook his head and said helplessly, What's the use of you saying that you were wrong? Qin Mengyan's anger was vented and her mood was a lot better. At this time she carefully considered the seriousness of the matter. Zhou Jiejia is a girl. You kissed her forcefully. You are sorry to her now. Although Yang Ming felt that it wasn't right for him to kiss Zhou Jiejia, she ran to his partition first. Yang Ming had always suspected that this chick had ulterior motives, so he didn't think much of it in his heart. Moreover, after watching Zhou Jiejia's passionate video, Yang Ming didn't think that Zhou Jiejia, this little slut, was very pure. So what if I kissed her? I can't lose a piece of meat. She might have been kissed by many people. I can't get a mouth ulcer, right? Yang Ming thought evilly. However, this matter couldn't be told to Qin Mengyan. In the current situation, Qin Mengyan was obviously protecting Zhou Jiejia. I don't know what this chick gave Qin Mengyan. She actually made Qin Mengyan, who liked to be jealous, side with her. Well, I will apologize to her in a while. Yang Ming nodded. Apologize. Zhou Jiejia is a very pure girl. She doesn't even have a boyfriend. Aren't you ruining her innocence? Qin Mengyan was a little annoyed with Yang Ming's recklessness. What should I do? I can't be responsible for her, right? Yang Ming rolled his eyes and said, If you are dreaming. Even if I agree that you are responsible for her, Zhou Jiejia may not let you be responsible. Qin Mengyan snorted and said, Zhou Jiejia has someone she likes. Moreover, her love is very deep. Yang Ming listened to Qin Mengyan's words and couldn't help but frown. In my impression, Zhou Jiejia isn't the kind of person who casually confides in others. What is her purpose of approaching Chen Mengyan? Is she really interested in me? Yang Ming would rather believe that the earth was square than believe that Zhou Jiejie would like him. Well then what do you say? Yang Ming sighed and spread his hands as he looked at Chen Mengyan. Forget it. I will help you test Zhou Jiejie's tone in a while. Really? You have cheated on her and you still want me to clean up the mess for you. I am probably the first girlfriend like me. Chen Mengyan said in a bad mood. That I saw in online novels that there are girlfriends who help their boyfriends find girlfriends. Yang Ming whispered. You also said that that is a novel. Chen Mengyan said faintly. However, this sentence made Yang Ming speechless. Indeed, that is a novel. Find one in real life. Yang Ming was speechless. He had to look at Chen Mengyan pitifully. Don't look at me like that. Let me tell you. You are not allowed to kiss me again today. I don't want other women's saliva to enter my mouth. Chen Mengyan tilted her head and said. Chen Mengyan didn't dislike you. Yang Ming was immediately aroused by Chen Mengyan's words. He picked up Chen Mengyan and kissed her. What are you doing? Moo. The poor Chen Mengyan had to indirectly enjoy a 3P kiss. Chapter 373. Zhou Jiejie wasn't annoyed by Yang Ming's recklessness. On the contrary, she was very willing. After all, if Zhou Jiejie resisted strongly, Yang Ming wouldn't have succeeded. Even if he succeeded, he wouldn't have kissed her non-stop. Zhou Jiejie returned to the partition with a red face and sat next to Wang Shui. She was in a daze and there was a silly smile on her face. It made Wang Shui somewhat inexplicable. What happened to this child? She went out and came back with a silly look. Hey Jiejie, what happened to you? Wang Shui asked softly. Zhou Jiejie didn't hear her question at all. She was still in a daze. Jiejie. Wang Shui called again. She still didn't hear it. Jiejie, what happened to you? Wang Shui pushed Zhou Jiejie. This time Zhou Jiejie finally reacted. She looked up inexplicably and looked at Wang Shui. Wang Shui, what's the matter? What's the matter? I asked you what's wrong. Wang Shui said with some blame. Jiejie, why are you in a daze? Why are you still smirking? Am I smirking? Zhou Jiejie looked at Wang Shui and smirked. Wang Shui was scared. Jiejie, are you crazy? No. I'm just very happy. Zhou Jiejie continued to smirk. Wang Shui shook her head. Tian Donghua was sitting next to her, so Wang Shui couldn't ask more. She could only ask after returning to the dormitory. The movie they watched today was a foreign blockbuster. Yang Ming wasn't very interested in this kind of movie. Moreover, the two people didn't just come to watch the movie. They just wanted to feel the effect of the 3D cinema. The rest was to secretly do something that couples could do. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan lingered for a while. Couples in love were always very attached to each other. So until the end of the movie, the two still didn't understand the meaning of the whole movie. After the movie ended, Zhang Bin directly pulled Zhao Sisi to get a room. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan obviously hadn't reached that stage yet. The two of them had just reconciled, so it was obviously inappropriate for them to get a room directly. Everything had to be done one step at a time, right? There would be a day when the conditions were right. At this time, Yang Ming had already sobered up, so he went to the entrance of the hot pot city with Tian Donghua to pick up the car and return to school. This time, without Zhang Bin and the others, Zhou Jiejie had no reason to sit in Yang Ming's car again. Moreover, there was such an embarrassing scene just now. Naturally, it was even more inappropriate to sit in his car again. However, when Zhou Jiejie wanted to get into Zhang Bin's car that was now driven by Tian Donghua, Chen Mengyan called her, Zhou Jiejie. What's the matter? Zhou Jiejie was shocked. She quickly turned around and asked. Come on. Let's sit together. Chen Mengyan greeted her enthusiastically. In fact, she wanted to solve Yang Ming's mistaken kiss incident as soon as possible to avoid the situation from escalating. Me? Go over? Zhou Jiejie was stunned. She didn't expect that she had no reason to hitch a ride. Instead, Chen Mengyan found a reason for her. Seeing that Chen Mengyan nodded, Zhou Jiejie carefully walked over and sat in Yang Ming's car. She looked like a concubine who was reprimanded by the main wife in the past. Chen Mengyan took the initiative to sit in the back seat of the Jetta, side by side with Zhou Jiejie. This made Zhou Jiejie somewhat flattered. Jiejie, I'm sorry. Chen Mengyan took the initiative to apologize first. She couldn't help it. Who asked her boyfriend to get into trouble? Mingyan, why are you apologizing to me? Qin Mingyan's sudden apology made Zhou Jiejia somewhat at a loss. However, since Qin Mingyan called her Jiejia, then she also affectionately called Qin Mingyan as Mingyan. Yang Ming accidentally mistook you for me. So please don't mind. Qin Mingyan whispered, I hope you can forgive him. Don't pursue his responsibility, okay? Zhou Jiejia was somewhat overwhelmed. She never thought of pursuing Yang Ming's responsibility. Qin Mingyan saw that Zhou Jiejia didn't express her opinion. Instead, she showed a strange look. She was anxious and quickly explained, Jiejia, you also know that Yang Ming is a reckless person. Can you not make it difficult for him? Zhou Jiejia reacted. It turned out that Qin Mingyan really wanted to apologize to her. Zhou Jiejia almost blurted out that she had nothing to do with it. She wouldn't pursue it. However, she thought about it again. If she expressed her opinion quickly, it would easily cause Qin Mingyan to misunderstand. Moreover, if she felt wronged, it might be an opportunity to win Qin Mingyan's sympathy. Then what should I do? Zhou Jiejia hesitated and said, I will let him apologize to you. Do you think that's okay? Qin Mingyan didn't know how to compensate Zhou Jiejia. Indeed, if it was another person who kissed her, she would have been mad. I know. I have never encountered such a thing. Zhou Jiejia shook her head and said with grievance. Yes, indeed, this kind of mishap can be encountered a few times in a lifetime. How could Zhou Jiejia be so unlucky to encounter it? And the initiator is my boyfriend Yang Ming. Qin Mingyan had a headache for a while. If Zhou Jiejia took this matter to heart in the future, then it would be troublesome. If Zhou Jiejia took things too hard because of this matter, then Yang Ming would become a sinner. Qin Mingyan sighed and had to comfort her. Jiejia, I know that you must be very uncomfortable in your heart now, but Yang Ming didn't mean it. How about I let him treat you to a meal? Buy you a gift as an apology? It was also the first time that Qin Mingyan dealt with this kind of thing, so she didn't speak in an organized manner. She didn't know how to comfort Zhou Jiejia. She could only make some requests that seemed to be coaxing a child. Zhou Jiejia had never encountered such a thing, so when Qin Mingyan proposed this childish compensation request, Zhou Jiejia really thought about how to get closer to Yang Ming in this way of compensation. After thinking about it for a long time, Zhou Jiejia felt that she had to take advantage of others. So if she really wanted to be with Yang Ming in the future, if she wanted to get past Qin Mingyan, she had to let Qin Mingyan feel that Yang Ming was guilty of her. Then Qin Mingyan wouldn't blame her too much, right? Therefore, Zhou Jiejia decided that she didn't need any compensation. She would just let it go. I just let it go. Zhou Jiejia's meaning really wanted to express that this matter was just let it go. However, Qin Mingyan felt that it was like a rhetorical question. She thought that Zhou Jiejia meant that this matter couldn't be let go. So she couldn't help but frown. If I don't let it go, what else do you want? Do you want Yang Ming to be responsible for you? Or, you can just think of it as the person you like kissing you. Is that okay? Anyway, you can't see clearly in the dark. If you think like this, your heart should feel better, right? Qin Mingyan said a funny reason. However, in fact, Zhou Jiejia didn't need to think about it at all. Yang Ming was the person she liked, so she didn't have any psychological burden at all. However, after listening to Qin Mingyan's explanation, Zhou Jiejia was puzzled again. I gave up pursuing it. What does Qin Mingyan mean by this? Could it be that she had really seen through something and had been using words to trick me? It is very possible. The girl in front of me is obviously not stupid, so I have to be careful. Don't be fooled. Zhou Jiejia thought so. As for Qin Mingyan, when she saw that Qin Mingyan didn't speak, she thought that her words just now had stimulated her. She hurriedly apologized. Jiejia, I didn't mean that. Although Yang Ming may not be as good as the person you like, he is also very good. Qin Mingyan was a little indiscriminate. Her words were even more incoherent. But the more she said this, the more frightened Zhou Jiejia was. He is also very good? What does this mean? Qin Mingyan is promoting Yang Ming to me? Could it be that this was also a test of him? But I didn't mean that. In fact, Yang Ming is also very good. Zhou Jiejia carefully replied vaguely. She said this ambiguously to test Qin Mingyan. Very good. Qin Mingyan also nodded stupidly. Then this matter. These two women with high IQ actually had such a low IQ secret dialogue. After talking for a long time, the other party didn't understand the meaning of the other party. However, the matter was resolved. Qin Mingyan at least knew that Zhou Jiejia wouldn't pursue Yang Ming. She was just wondering why Zhou Jiejie didn't pursue it. She didn't even want a little compensation? Zhou Jiejie was also very puzzled. Why do I feel that Qin Mengyan seems to have a hidden meaning in her words? But thinking about it carefully, it doesn't seem to be the case. Chapter 374. Back in the dormitory, Zhou Jiejie carefully fiddled with the rose in her hand. She was afraid of breaking it. She carefully picked it up and looked at it. Jiejie, what are you doing? Why are you so weird today? It's just a broken flower. Don't you usually receive a lot of flowers? Wang Shui asked, puzzled. Even if it was given by Yang Ming, there was no need to be like this. It's just a thing and it doesn't represent any special meaning. This Zhou Jiejie is really obsessed. Where's the vase? Where's my vase? Zhou Jiejie didn't bother with Wang Shui. Instead, she jumped up from the bed and began to rummage for the vase. Your vase? Didn't Miao Miao use it as a pen holder in the next dormitory? Did you forget? Wang Shui reminded her. Oh yes, it seems to be. Zhou Jiejie rushed out of the dormitory and then ran to the next dormitory. Under the very surprised eyes of the people in the next dormitory, Zhou Jiejie poured out the pen in the vase and then took the vase back. Is that Zhou Jiejie? The girl in the next dormitory asked. Looking at the appearance, it is. Could it be that she was possessed by the soul? The girl in the next dormitory said. It's very possible. Girl C shook her head. Zhou Jiejie ran to the bathroom and cleaned the vase. Then she returned to the dormitory and inserted the roses by the bed. Wang Shui was dumbfounded. After Zhou Jiejie finished all of this, she breathed a sigh of relief and said to herself, I will keep this flower like this. Keep it? How many days can you keep it? Wang Shui looked at Zhou Jiejie's obsessed look and said angrily, Jiejie, don't be silly. How many days can it live if you keep it like this? It will die in 2 or 3 days. It will die by then. Oh, you're right. Zhou Jiejie patted her head. I blame myself for being too impatient. Why didn't I think of this? Zhou Jiejie shook her head with self-deprecation. Wang Shui, how can I make the flower not wither? Not wither? Do you think it's a flower demon? Wang Shui didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She shook her head helplessly and said, Jiejie, can you not be like this? Wasn't it just a flower? Is it necessary? Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Zhou Jiejie only heard the first half of Wang Shui's sentence and turned a deaf ear to the second half. Wang Shui, where do you think there is a place to make specimens? You go to the gift shop and ask. Wang Shui was helpless. It seemed that Zhou Jiejie didn't listen to her advice at all. He was a little obsessed. Hence he changed the topic. Oh right, Jiejie, what did Qin Mengyan say to you just now? Wasn't she Yang Ming's girlfriend? Why are they looking for you? Nothing. Although Zhou Jiejie and Wang Shui had a very close relationship, she was still embarrassed to say such a shameful thing like being kissed by Yang Ming. Strange, Jiejie, you are really strange today. Wang Shui frowned and sighed. Zhou Jiejie was lying on the bed in a daze. She looked at the vase on the bedside and giggled from time to time. When Yang Ming returned to the dormitory, Qin Fei's phone call came in. Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable. What's going on with this Uncle Qin? It's the middle of the night. It's almost 2 o'clock. Why is he calling so late? Hello, Uncle Qin, what's the matter? Yang Ming asked curiously. Oh, Yang Ming, it's nothing. Where are you? Qin Fei was actually afraid that Yang Ming would take Qin Mengyan somewhere to spend the night. As a father, he was obviously very concerned, so there was this phone call. I'm at school. What's wrong, Uncle Qin? Yang Ming replied inexplicably. It's nothing. It's the end of the year. The public security outside isn't very good. I'm just worried about you. Qin Fei smiled. Worried about me? Yang Ming was even more inexplicable. Uncle Qin, don't forget that I once faced 2 ferocious gangsters. I even killed one, and I'm relieved that you're back at school. Then it's fine. Rest early. Qin Fei sighed in relief and hung up the phone. The pitiful hearts of parents in the world. Yang Ming edited a few text messages and sent them to Zhao Ying, Li Degong, Su Ping, Yang Xiaobo and others. The general idea was to wish them a Merry Christmas. Suddenly, Yang Ming thought of Lin Jiyun and quickly sent her a message. However, Lin Jiyun didn't actually rest. She quickly replied with a message. You haven't slept yet? Did you just come back from accompanying your girlfriend? Yang Ming held the phone and was a little embarrassed. Lin Jiyun was now his girlfriend in name. Now that she asked this question, Yang Ming was a little embarrassed. I haven't slept. You haven't slept either? Yang Ming deliberately avoided the question of just coming back from a trip with Qin Mengyan. Not yet. A few of my mother's friends for many years came home. We spent Christmas Eve together. It was very lively. They just went back. I accompanied my mother to pack up. Lin Jiyun replied. I see. Is your leg better? Asked Yang Ming. And there's basically no problem now. Right, Yang Ming, can you come to my house tomorrow? My mother just told me to call you over. Lin Jiyun replied. Yang Ming looked at the message and thought about it a little. Yeah, it's reasonable to say that today's Christmas Eve is for couples to go out and play together. I actually didn't ask Lin Jiyun out. This seems a bit unreasonable. It's hard to guarantee that Mother Lin won't be suspicious. Yang Ming patted his head. I miscalculated. Even if I went to Lin Jiyun's place to take a look, it would have been good. No wonder Lin Jiyun just asked me if I went to accompany my girlfriend and just came back. Did your mother suspect anything? Yang Ming quickly sent a message over. After a long time, Lin Jiyun replied, my mother asked me if we had a fight. I told her that we didn't. You went to tutor Wu Zhongjie today. He saw that you sent me a text message just now. She should be relieved. If you have something tomorrow, then you don't have to come. Something? I have to come even if I have something to do. Yang Ming's feelings for Lin Jiyun were very strange and overbearing. There was a strong sense of protecting and duty-bound. As long as it was Lin Jiyun's matter, even if Yang Ming had a big matter, he had to put it aside first to do her thing. Therefore Yang Ming replied without thinking, I will go. I will go tomorrow morning. You can tell Auntie Shin that I will be there at around 9 o'clock. Is that okay? Well, then you should rest early. Otherwise, can you wake up tomorrow? Lin Jiyun replied. Hey, you should sleep too. Sleep together. Good night. Yang Ming sent a message with some ambiguity. Lin Jiyun didn't reply again. He didn't know if she understood. In fact, Lin Jiyun certainly understood Yang Ming's text message. For such a sensitive word like sleep together, she suddenly blushed. She remembered the memory fragment of her naked encounter with Yang Ming in the hotel. She couldn't help but feel hot all over. From the hatred for Yang Ming at that time, to the peace of mind later and now, Lin Jiyun found that she had an indescribable feeling for Yang Ming. In short, when she was with Yang Ming, there was a slight feeling of her heart beating faster. It was a little exciting, a little enjoyable, but it was more of a fear. Lin Jiyun had never liked any boy since she was a child. Because of her family conditions, she didn't think about other things except for studying. This was also the reason why she lacked the wisdom of the world. Therefore Lin Jiyun didn't know what it felt like to like a person. This also caused her to be unaware of Yang Ming's shadow in her heart. Although Lin Jiyun always reminded herself that she couldn't have any substantial relationship with Yang Ming, because the relationship between the two people was fake. Moreover, Yang Ming had a girlfriend, but Lin Jiyun didn't know that feelings couldn't be controlled so well. If feelings could be controlled, then there wouldn't be so many unrequited love in this world. Facing the last ambiguous text message from Yang Ming, Lin Jiyun obviously didn't know how to reply, so she simply pretended to be asleep and didn't reply. Although she pretended to be asleep, in fact Lin Jiyun didn't sleep for half the night. She didn't know why, but when she thought of Yang Ming, she felt sweet in her heart. Yang Ming tossed around for a night and soon fell asleep. However, what he didn't know was that this night, 3 people were destined to have insomnia, and they were all insomnia for the same person. These 3 people were Qin Mengyan, Lin Jiyun, and of course Zhou Jiejia. Chapter 375. Qin Mengyan returned to the dormitory. Her heart was still in a mess. She and Yang Ming finally made substantial progress. In fact, Qin Mengyan's heart wasn't very important to these things. Although she was more conservative, she had already recognized Yang Ming in her heart. She thought that he was the only man in her life. Then, other things became not very important. For kissing and even going to the hotel, Qin Mengyan wasn't very repulsed. He just felt a little scared. Originally, before she came today, she also thought about whether Yang Ming would ask to take her out for the night. Qin Mengyan was still very nervous. She didn't know what she should do. Although she didn't rule it out, it was impossible for Qin Mengyan not to be nervous when it happened. Just now, when Zhang Bin said that he would take Zhao Sisi to the hotel, Qin Mengyan was so nervous that she couldn't stand still. Fortunately, Yang Ming didn't ask for anything. He just sent her back to school. However, sometimes people were so contradictory. Fear was fear. Now that things didn't happen, Chen Mengyan began to think more. Is Yang Ming not interested in me? Why did he do that with Lan Ling but he never asked for me? Am I not as good as Lan Ling? As a result, Chen Mengyan spent the night in a daze, letting her imagination run wild. Early the next morning, Yang Ming rushed to Lin Jian's house in Hozhenhan's broken Jetta. Originally, Yang Ming wanted to buy some fruit, but because it was Christmas Eve yesterday, many vendors were open all night and didn't close until the morning. So in the early morning of Christmas, the street was very deserted. There weren't even many cars. When he arrived at Lin Jian's house, Yang Ming knocked on the door. It was Xin Yueping who opened the door. When she saw Yang Ming, she immediately greeted him enthusiastically. Yang Ming, you are here. And hello, Auntie Xin. Merry Christmas. Yang Ming said, where is Xiyun? Xiyun texted you in the middle of the night last night. Then she was so excited that she couldn't sleep for half the night. She just fell asleep at 4 o'clock. Now she is resting. Xin Yueping said. If that's the case, then do you want me to come back later? Yang Ming said with some embarrassment. Why would you come back later? You and Yun Er aren't outsiders. I will go out later. You wait for her at home. Xin Yueping said, go to her room. Yang Ming nodded. Poor Lin Jiun. She was sleeping soundly. How would she know that her mother actually pushed a man into her bedroom? Although Yang Ming was Lin Jiun's boyfriend in disguise, both of them knew about each other, but they didn't expose each other. Therefore, the relationship between the two of them wasn't considered intimate, but it was still quite ambiguous. If it were another person, no matter how perverted Yang Ming was, he wouldn't simply enter a girl's bedroom when she was sleeping. However, Lin Jian was different. Yang Ming originally held the idea of being responsible for her, so there was no problem of avoiding it. When he pushed the door into Lin Jian's bedroom, he saw Lin Jian sleeping. At this moment, Lin Jian was riding on the quilt. One of her snow-white legs was exposed outside the quilt. Yang Ming really wanted to touch it. Lin Jian had a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. Her little face was flushed with a sparkling luster. Her long eyelashes were so cute that Yang Ming really wanted to kiss her. However, before Lin Jian accepted him, Yang Ming could still restrain himself. He was just thinking about it. He couldn't really do anything. Yang Ming got up and pulled Lin Jian's quilt. He covered her exposed legs so that she wouldn't catch a cold. After a while, the sound of the door closing came from outside the house. Apparently, Auntie Xin had left. Yang Ming didn't have the heart to disturb Lin Jian, so he sat quietly and waited for her to wake up. And after a while, Lin Jian suddenly made a lazy moan. Apparently, she had woken up. Yang Ming was about to greet her, but he saw Lin Jian hurriedly get up from the bed. She said to herself, where are the slippers? Where are the slippers? I can't take it anymore. I'm going to wet the bed. After that, she stepped on the slippers and ran out of the door quickly. Yang Ming was stunned. Fuck, could it be that my ability was automatically activated? Why is Lin Jian naked? Just now, Yang Ming only felt a blur in front of his eyes. A white female body passed by his eyes. Yang Ming saw the two bright red spots on her chest and the black spots below her body clearly. Could it be that the function of the glasses automatically upgraded again? Why is Lin Jian naked? Yang Ming thought inexplicably. Moreover, Lin Jian didn't seem to notice him at all. Could it be that the glasses have a stealth function? However, the answer was immediately revealed. Yang Ming thought too much. The glasses didn't change, but Lin Jian was indeed naked. Moreover, he wasn't invisible. Lin Jian, who went to the bathroom, also woke up a lot. She hurried back to her bedroom. The reason why she dared to run out naked was because her father wasn't at home recently. It was just her and her mother, so there was no need to avoid anything. Otherwise, Lin Jian would definitely put on her clothes first. Lin Jian looked at the clock hanging on the wall of the hall. It was actually more than 10 o'clock. Why isn't Yang Ming here yet? It seems that my mother has already left. Lin Jian shook her head and was ready to go back to the room to put on her clothes. But she didn't expect that when she opened the bedroom door, she suddenly found a person sitting in front of the desk. That person was Yang Ming. Lin Jian screamed and hurriedly covered the important parts of her body. But unfortunately, she only had 2 hands. If she covered the top, she couldn't cover the bottom. If she covered the bottom, she could only cover half of the top. Actually, I didn't see anything, Yang Ming said as he sweated. Stop it. Lin Jiyun listened to Yang Ming's words and was so angry that her face turned red. She quickly went back to her bed. You still don't want to go out? Heh. I will go out now. Yang Ming shook his head. This matter AI. In fact, it was reasonable to say that Yang Ming was responsible for this. He just saw it once. When Lin Jiyun didn't notice him, he quickly hid in another room. However, Yang Ming didn't think that Lin Jiyun wasn't wearing clothes at the time, but he felt that his special ability had upgraded or failed. As a result, this scene happened. If it was another person, it would be fine. But Yang Ming had this special ability of X-ray vision, so he hesitated and didn't hide. However, this kind of thing couldn't be explained to Lin Jiyun. Yang Ming had to force himself to walk out of Lin Jiyun's bedroom awkwardly and then close the door for her. Lin Jiyun now wished that there was a hole to hide in. She was exposed too much. Although it wasn't a big deal to be seen by him, she was still embarrassed. Lin Jiyun felt that she didn't have the face to see Yang Ming. Isn't this too shameful? However, this wasn't a big deal. Now Lin Jiyun could only pray that Yang Ming entered her bedroom after she went to the bathroom. Otherwise, wouldn't her previous sentence of "I'm going to wet the bed" make her even more ashamed? A girl actually said such a thing in front of a boy. She felt that she didn't have the face to see him. Lin Jiyun quickly put on her clothes and struggled for a long time. She took a deep breath and opened the bedroom door. When she saw Yang Ming sitting on the sofa in the living room, she didn't know what to say. She could only cough deliberately. "Jiyun, you are dressed? Sorry, I didn't know you were naked." Yang Ming scratched his head and said with some embarrassment. Lin Jiyun obviously didn't want to pursue and didn't want to continue this topic. She just wanted to figure out when Yang Ming came, so she asked, "When did you come?" "I didn't know." "Oh, I came over at 9 o'clock. Auntie Shin asked me to wait for you to wake up in your bedroom." Yang Ming explained, "You also know that we are now in a relationship. If I didn't go, Auntie Shin would definitely be suspicious, so I didn't refuse. But I just sat aside honestly." Yang Ming naturally declared his innocence first. He didn't do anything. However, Lin Jiyun couldn't care about this now. Looking at the situation, Yang Ming must have heard the sentence that I just said. Yang Ming looked at Lin Jiyun's face that turned red and white. He couldn't help but ask, "Yun, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so bad? Didn't you rest well last night? Or did you hold your pee for too long?" Lin Jiyun was shocked. She didn't expect that Yang Ming would actually say such a thing. It's not suitable for a girl to hold her pee. It can easily lead to urethritis and bladder rupture. Yang Ming didn't mean to make fun of Lin Jiyun. On the contrary, he was very concerned about Lin Jiyun. He was reading the news on the internet and accidentally saw a news article. It said that a girl drank soda before going to bed and failed to urinate in time, resulting in a bladder rupture. In fact, he was also applying what he learned. Chapter 376. Lin Jiyun was really stunned. She stared at Yang Ming with her mouth wide open. "I'm also concerned about you." Hee. Yang Ming felt that it was inappropriate for a man to talk about this topic with a girl. Isn't there a saying that goes, "Don't be afraid of the doctor when you're sick"? Or something. In short, I'm now acting as a doctor. Okay. Let's not talk about this. Lin Jiyun noticed that Yang Ming wasn't done yet. She didn't care about being shy anymore and quickly said perfunctorily, "I'm fine." Hee. Yang Ming laughed twice. "I'm going to tidy myself up. You wait for me first." Lin Jiyun hadn't brushed her hair and washed her face yet. It wasn't appropriate to face Yang Ming with her messy hair. "Okay, you go ahead." Yang Ming nodded and said, "Do you need me to leave? Is it still useful to leave now?" Lin Jiyun snorted. She glared at Yang Ming and hurried into the bathroom. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and shook his head. "What does Lin Jiyun mean? Does she mean that I can continue to peek? Since it's allowed, can I use my special ability?" Yang Ming thought very evilly. Today Lin Jiyun didn't wear her white down jacket, but she wore a black coat. This coat wasn't of good quality. It should be something that cost dozens of yuan in the night market. However, it fit Lin Jiyun very well. "Go shopping?" Yang Ming suggested. "Shopping?" Lin Jiyun was stunned and asked, "Aren't you going to accompany your girlfriend? Aren't you my girlfriend?" Yang Ming pretended not to understand. Lin Jiyun was speechless and shook her head. "You know who I'm talking about. You're wearing a coat. Aren't you going shopping with me?" Yang Ming didn't answer Lin Jiyun's question. "I'm wearing clothes to go to school." Lin Jiyun said, I hurt my leg. I haven't been to school for a few days. Go. I'm your boyfriend now. If I don't go shopping with you for Christmas, Auntie Shin will be dissatisfied with me again. Yang Ming said with a smile. Besides, I don't think there will be many students going to class today. Maybe the school has already changed it to self-study. Nonsense, do you think everyone is skipping class like you? Lin Jiyun smiled and said, well, where do you want to go? Let's just walk around the business district. Yang Ming suggested, I'll buy you 2 sets of clothes. Buying clothes? Lin Jiyun hesitated. Yang Ming, in fact, our current relationship is just to deceive my parents. You don't have to spend so much money. What do you mean by spending money? Even if we're good friends, shouldn't we give each other some gifts for Christmas? Yang Ming interrupted Lin Jiyun's words and continued. Besides, buying clothes for you is also to deceive Auntie Shin. Please, I'm your boyfriend now. I don't want to be looked down upon by your mother. Hee hee. Lin Jiyun listened to Yang Ming's words and couldn't help but smile. Well then, don't buy anything that's too expensive. Just buy it with the tutoring fee for these few days. Anyway, this is what you deserve. Yang Ming nodded and said. The 2 people went out. Coincidentally, they actually met Auntie Hong from the snack bar. Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming. Auntie Hong's memory was particularly good. She could call out the name of the person she had met once. Auntie Hong, hello. Merry Christmas. Yang Ming smiled and greeted Auntie Hong. Auntie Hong. Lin Jiyun also called. He was a bit puzzled. How did Yang Ming know Auntie Hong? The 2 of them just had a meal at Auntie Hong's place. Let's go out and play together? Asked Auntie Hong. Yeah, Auntie Hong, where are you going? Lin Jiyun nodded shyly and asked. I'm going to the market to buy some goods. There are a few dishes at home that are almost gone. Said Auntie Hong. Auntie Hong, how are you going? Asked Yang Ming. I'm taking the bus. Auntie Hong smiled and said, when you come back you can take a taxi. When you go there you didn't take anything. Of course you have to take the bus. Jiyun and I are going to the commercial street just in front of the market. Let's go together. Yang Ming said. Auntie Hong nodded. She thought that Yang Ming was talking about taking the bus together, so she didn't care. When they were out of the alley, Yang Ming opened the door of the Jetta and said to Auntie Hong, Auntie Hong, get in the car. The car is a bit broken. Don't mind it. Oh, you have a car? Auntie Hong was a little surprised. Although this car didn't look very good, it was unrealistic for a small family like her to keep a car. Yours? Lin Jiyun was also a little surprised because in the past, Yang Ming always drove Zhang Bin's Pentium. Oh, it's a friend of mine. Yang Ming said. Lin Jiyun had been accustomed to Yang Ming's statement. From the time Yang Ming knew her until now, Yang Ming had driven 3 cars. From the beginning of the Buick business to the later Fa Pentium and now to the current Jetta. Auntie Hong didn't care. Many of the taxis she took weren't as good as this one. Yang Ming started the car and drove Auntie Hong to the market first. Then he drove to the commercial street. After parking the car in the parking lot, Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun got out of the car together. The strange thing was that this was a paid parking lot, but the toll collector turned a blind eye to Yang Ming's car. After collecting the fee by the side, he went straight to collect the fees of other cars. Obviously, this couldn't be ignored by the toll collector. Yesterday, Yang Ming had some doubts about the performance of the security captain at the entrance of the hotel. From the association to today's incident, Yang Ming could be sure that these people obviously knew Ho Junhan's car. It seemed that Ho Junhan's reputation had been established. Of course, it couldn't be ruled out that this parking lot was Bao Sanli's property. Even if it wasn't, disputes were easy to occur in public places like the parking lot, especially those who didn't want to pay for parking. At this time, it was necessary for the gangsters to come forward. Therefore, this place was more or less related to Bao Sanli. Don't underestimate the parking fee of 3 or 5 yuan each time. In a day, it was tens of thousands of income. However, it was better if no one collected the money. Yang Ming was too lazy to ask the reason. He took Lin Jiyun directly to the commercial street. The 2 walked into a shop selling casual clothes. The clothes in this shop weren't very expensive and the quality was okay. Yang Ming always bought clothes in this kind of place. Both of you, there is a Christmas special for couple outfits. If you buy couple outfits, you will get a concentric lock necklace. A waiter greeted them enthusiastically. Most of the people who came to this kind of low-end casual shop were student couples. Therefore, in order to attract customers, These shops were racking their brains to find an excuse to do some promotions and special offers. Generally speaking, these shops were promoting all year round, but this was also an important reason why there were so many customers in this kind of shop. Couple outfits? Lin Jiyun was stunned. Yes, it was Christmas. A man and a woman coming out to shop was obviously easy to be regarded as a couple. What are the styles? Yang Ming asked casually. Student, please take a look here. These are all the Christmas special sale price. This couple's vest is 99 yuan per set. This couple's windbreaker is 268 yuan per set. If you buy the couple's windbreaker, you will get a pair of concentric lock necklace. If you buy the couple's windbreaker, you will get 2 couple's scarves. The waiter introduced skillfully. Jin, what do you think of this small vest? Yang Ming felt that this set of vest was good. He didn't have this kind of thing, so he could buy one. Moreover, the price wasn't expensive. Lin Jiyun suddenly had no idea. Buy couple outfits. Yang Ming and AI, we are becoming more and more like a real couple. It's okay, student. You can try it on. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter if you buy it or not. The waiter said. And then you find a set for us. Look at our figures. What size do you want? Asked Yang Ming. Hehe, both of you can wear L size. Student, both of you are a good match, unlike some couples. Their figures are so different that they can't even wear couple outfits. The waiter didn't forget to praise. Yang Ming laughed twice after listening, but Lin Jiyun lowered her head. Needless to say, this waiter's eyesight was still good. They tried it on and it fit. So Yang Ming didn't intend to take it off. He asked Lin Jiyun, Jiyun, what do you think? I think it's okay. Although Lin Jiyun also felt that the design of this small vest was very good, and it was very warm because it was a couple outfit, Lin Jiyun was embarrassed to say that it was particularly good. And then we will buy it and wear it. Yang Ming nodded to the waiter and said, Okay, please come here. I will take you to pay. The waiter took Yang Ming and the others to the cashier, paid the money and gave the receipt to Yang Ming. Yang Ming turned and was about to leave, but Lin Jiyun suddenly remembered that the waiter just said that there was a gift. She was a careful girl, so she quickly asked, What about our gift? Chapter 377. It's here. I'll get it for you. The salesperson thought that she could save a set of gifts. She didn't expect this girl to remember it. She quickly took a set of gift necklaces and handed them to Lin Jiyun. After getting the gift, Lin Jiyun was very happy to walk out of the clothing store with Yang Ming as if she got a big bargain. Hehe, this necklace looks like a street stall product, right? Yang Ming smiled indifferently and pointed to the necklace in Lin Jiyun's hand. But he promised to give it to us. Why don't we take it? Lin Jiyun said. You didn't wear it even if you wanted it. What's the use of it? Yang Ming shook his head helplessly. Many times it was like this. When people bought things, they were very concerned about the gift. When they really took the gift home, it became a useless waste. Why didn't I wear it? Who said I didn't wear it? Lin Jiyun was reminded by Yang Ming. She directly put the heart of the heart lock necklace on her neck. Hehe. Yang Ming smiled and picked up his own necklace and put it on his neck. The two people smiled at each other and a tacit understanding arose spontaneously. Lin Jiyun. At this time, a young man and a young woman came from the opposite side. The woman greeted Lin Jiyun. Zhang Xiaoyuan? Lin Jiyun also saw the girl opposite and was a little surprised. Isn't this the pure and innocent girl in our class? Why, you have a boyfriend too? Zhang Xiaoyuan smiled and said, How should I address this handsome guy? Hello, my name is Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't know the relationship between the person in front of him and Lin Jiyun, so he just replied faintly. Oh, that's pretty cool. Zhang Xiaoyuan smiled. What are you wearing? Isn't this the necklace that was given as a promotion in the store? Why are you wearing such a rubbish thing on your neck? Hurry up and ask your husband to buy you a platinum necklace. Just like this one of mine. Although Zhang Xiaoyuan was smiling, there was an unspeakable pride in her tone. The little fatty beside her also straightened his body. He looked at Yang Ming proudly. Only then did Yang Ming understand that little bitch Nier was here to act cool in front of Lin Jiyun. Lin Jiyun obviously didn't have a good impression of Zhang Xiaoyuan. She shook her head. I don't like these things. Ha Jiyun, let me tell you. Women can be like you. You are really a disgrace to us women. Zhang Xiaoyuan said, When we women and men are together, we are paying with our youth. You have to find a man who can spend money on you. Damn. Am I not generous? Yang Ming frowned. Why was this Zhang Xiaoyuan's words so unpleasant? I don't think you're looking for a partner. You're prostituting yourself. By the way, Ah Bayu, didn't you say you were going to buy me a mink fur coat? Let's go now. Zhang Xiaoyuan said to Fatty. Just let's go. Let's go now. But my Mercedes-Benz is parked in the parking lot. Don't let people scratch it. Fatty seemed to show off unintentionally. Although Lin Jiyun didn't care about these, girls also wanted to save face. Even Gu Xinyao was scheming in the dark. This Zhang Xiaoyuan was blatantly insulting others. How could Lin Jiyun not notice it? Yun, let's go. Didn't you say you were going to buy a mink fur coat? Don't waste time with them. Yang Ming said very humorously, we are rich people. We don't want to lower ourselves to the same level as these poor people. Buy a mink fur coat? How could Zhang Xiaoyuan believe it? Mink fur coat was much more expensive than mink fur. Looking at Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun's clothes, it was obvious that they were students. How could they afford to buy a mink fur coat? Therefore, Zhang Xiaoyuan naturally regarded Yang Ming's words as refuting because he wanted to save face. The fatty was obviously upset by Yang Ming's words. We are rich people. We don't want to lower ourselves to the same level as these poor people. Why, am I a poor person? I want to see who is the poor person in the end. So she sneered, that's just right. I know there is a Diamond Madam fur shop in front that has a lot of new designs. Let's go together. Yang Ming nodded and said indifferently. Zhang Xiaoyuan looked at Lin Jiyun with a deep meaning. Her eyes were full of disdain. To be honest, Lin Jiyun was much more beautiful than her, but what was the use? Didn't she still find a rich partner? Yang Ming, are we really going? On the road, Lin Jiyun whispered to Yang Ming. Why don't we go? Didn't we agree to buy clothes for you? Yang Ming looked at the fat man who was walking in front of him with his head held high. But you can't buy something so expensive. Lin Jiyun bit her lip and said, with our relationship, you bought me something so expensive. I can't accept it. Although Lin Jiyun's words were intermittent, Yang Ming could still understand. He comforted her with a smile. That's right. What's the relationship between the two of us? It's not a big deal to buy you 2 pieces of clothing. Lin Jiyun was speechless. Did this guy really not understand, or was he deliberately pretending to be stupid? Lin Jiyun now had some doubts. Why is Yang Ming so good to me? It was reasonable to say that he was just her fake boyfriend. Usually it was enough to deal with her parents. But now Yang Ming was completely no different from his real girlfriend. Not only did he care about me, but he also often bought me some gifts. This is probably only a man and a woman in love, right? Lin Jiyun also expressed this question to Yang Ming several times, but Yang Ming either pretended to be stupid or brushed it aside. He didn't answer her directly. Lin Jiyun's heart was now in a mess. Is she also like to be with Yang Ming? If possible, Lin Jiyun didn't mind keeping this relationship. But a fake is still a fake. Paper can't wrap fire. There will be a day when the truth will come out. At that time, my parents will know that Yang Ming is just a fake. Then wouldn't the relationship between the two end? However, if I don't say it and Yang Ming doesn't say it, who will know? Yes, it's Yang Ming's girlfriend. If this continues, Yang Ming's girlfriend won't find any clues. If she comes to find me, what should I do? It was precisely because of this that Lin Jiyun always reminded herself not to be too close to Yang Ming. But because her parents had already recognized Yang Ming's identity, she couldn't be too alienated from him, so it caused the current situation where she couldn't back down. Forget it. Lin Jiyun sighed helplessly. Let's take one step at a time. The 4 people came to a large fur shop in front. Diamond Lady Fur. Fur was very popular in the north. The terrain here was cold. Mink, fox, and rabbit fur were warm, so it was very popular among some rich people. Zhang Xiaoyuan and the fat man were determined to embarrass Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun, so they weren't in a hurry to buy. They just strolled with Lin Jiyun and the others. Moreover, they deliberately led them to the most expensive area. Wow, this is good. Lin Jiyun, it suits your figure very well. Why don't you try it? Zhang Xiaoyuan's evil intentions suddenly emerged. She pointed at a very expensive mink coat and said, how could Yang Ming not understand what she meant? But that coat did look pretty good. In fact, Zhang Xiaoyuan also considered this point. If she simply pointed out a coat for Lin Jiyun and the others to buy, it might not fit. Then they would have a reason not to buy it. Therefore, Zhang Xiaoyuan fully considered her figure and other factors before she chose such a suitable coat. And not bad. Let's take this one. Yang Ming nodded and greeted the sales staff. Please take this coat down. Let's try it on. Okay, wait a moment. Although the sales staff saw that Yang Ming's clothes were very ordinary, she didn't have any contempt. There were many strange rich people these days. He had seen a lot of them. It was understandable to pretend to be poor. Don't leak your wealth. The sales staff took the coat down and handed it to Yang Ming. Yang Ming handed it to Lin Jiyun and said, "You go to the fitting room. I will wait for you here." Zhang Xiaoyuan and the fat man were waiting to see Yang Ming make a fool of himself, but they didn't expect that Yang Ming wasn't idle. While Lin Jiyun was trying on the coat, he asked the sales staff, "Right, is there a size of about 1.65 meters over there? Who is wearing it?" The sales staff asked a routine question. "Oh, it's my mother." Yang Ming thought that this mink coat was good. Could keep out the cold. Since he was here, he should bring one back for his mother. Otherwise, his mother would definitely not be willing to spend money to buy it. "Yes, but your mother should be middle-aged. He should wear the one on the side." The sales staff pointed to a coat on the right. Yang Ming compared it. It was indeed the case, so he nodded and said, "Well, I want this. You can give me the invoice directly." Chapter 378. The waiter was stunned. She didn't expect this person to buy it without even trying it. However, since it was bought as a gift, it didn't matter. "Okay, sir, if you buy 2 coats at a time, you can enjoy a 10% discount. Can you wait for the lady to try the coat? If it's suitable, you can get a discount when you open the invoice together." Yang Ming nodded indifferently. However, Zhang Xiaoyuan and the fat man couldn't stand it anymore. "Xiaoyuan, didn't you say that Lin Jiyun is very poor? What the hell is going on?" The fat man asked with some worry. "Who knows? Look at that man. He doesn't dress well." Zhang Xiaoyuan whispered, "Don't you want to buy me a mink coat? Hurry up and buy it. Don't be outdone by him. This thing is so expensive. There is a shop with a 20% discount. Let's go there." The fat man whispered, "Aren't we here to embarrass your classmate? Do you just lack that money?" Zhang Xiaoyuan was a little unhappy. "You even drive a Mercedes-Benz. You're not even as good as 2 poor people. Little lady, that Mercedes-Benz isn't mine. It's my boss's. I'm just a driver. I only earn 5 or 6,000 yuan a month, and it's all spent on you." The fat man smiled bitterly. Although the voices of the 2 people were small, Yang Ming stared at their lips with the corner of his eyes, so he knew what they were saying. "Zhang Xiaoyuan, right? I think the coat that Jiyun tried on is more suitable for you. You should try it too." Yang Ming smiled insidiously and said to the waiter, "Please find a coat of the same style for this lady to try." "Hey, sir." Yang Ming was a big buyer, so the waiter naturally nodded very enthusiastically. Besides, she saw that Zhang Xiaoyuan and the fat man's clothes were very exquisite, so she didn't doubt their purchasing ability. The fat man was a bit embarrassed. However, the waiter had already handed Zhang Xiaoyuan another one of the same style. Although this coat was chosen by Zhang Xiaoyuan for Lin Jiyun, she also chose it according to her own vision. First of all, she herself felt that this coat was good. Moreover, her figure was not much different from Lin Jiyun's. This dress was definitely suitable for her to wear, so Zhang Xiaoyuan didn't know what to do. She tried it on. It was really beautiful. If she didn't buy it, she would be ridiculed by Lin Jiyun. "Hee, this dress seems to suit you quite well." Yang Ming looked at Zhang Xiaoyuan and smiled. "Don't you want to try it on? Then let's give it a try." Zhang Xiaoyuan wanted to say something else, but the fat man couldn't stand Yang Ming's gaze, so he braced himself and said, in any case, he could just pick out a few flaws and not buy it later. Fatty didn't have Yang Ming's vision. He didn't know that this dress was very suitable for Zhang Xiaoyuan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that. In his opinion, wasn't it easy to find faults? When the time comes, he could just say that it was too big or too small. Zhang Xiaoyuan misunderstood. She thought that the fat man agreed to buy it for her, so she happily took the mink coat and ran to the fitting room. Just as Lin Jiyun came out, Yang Ming couldn't help but brighten up. Even Zhang Xiaoyuan was slightly shocked. Lin Jiyun's coat was so fitting. Lin Jiyun walked over carefully. Her face was a little red as she looked at Yang Ming. Does it look good? It's perfect. Yang Ming couldn't help but praise. Then he nodded and said, "Jiyun, didn't you look in the mirror?" "No," Lin Jiyun said with some shyness. "It's very beautiful. If you don't believe me, you can ask them. Yang Ming helped Lin Jiyun fix the collar and said, "Yeah, Mom, this dress really fits." Not to mention that Lin Jiyun was really beautiful when she wore it. Even if it didn't look good, they had to say yes to this deal. Then this one. We'll take it. For these two clothes, you can give me the invoice. Yang Ming nodded and said, "Hey, sir. Aren't you waiting for the lady just now? If she likes it, you can also enjoy a 10% discount when you give the invoice together," said the waiter. "It's okay. Both of them have a big business. How can they be poor like me? They don't care about the money." Yang Ming smiled and said, "If you give him a discount, he will say that you look down on him. Isn't that right, brother?" Yang Ming deliberately nodded to the fat man. The fat man thought, fucking 10% discount and full price difference is a few thousand. Isn't this a joke? But he had to pretend to be fat. "Yeah, this money doesn't matter." The waiter suddenly had a face full of worship. "This is called a rich man. I must praise him in a while. People who don't have money bought 2 pieces. I have to trick them to buy 3 pieces, right?" Yang Ming was laughing in his stomach, but his mouth also agreed. "Yeah, driving a Mercedes-Benz is really different." Driving a Mercedes-Benz? When the waiter heard this, he must be really rich. So she was happy and prepared to let the fat man pay for it. It didn't take long for Zhang Xiaoyuan to come out. Although this dress wasn't as beautiful as Lin Jiyun, it was very fitting on her. If there was no comparison with Lin Jiyun, then Zhang Xiaoyuan would also give people a feeling of amazement. However, even if it didn't feel as good as Lin Jiyun, it was very difficult to find fault with it. The excuses that the fat man had prepared couldn't be used at all. As he was thinking about how to reject it, the waiter spoke. "Miss, this dress is simply tailor-made for you. Fits you so well. Look, it's so natural." The waiter began to talk endlessly. "Let your husband take a look. Isn't it very good? What do you think, sir?" "Oh yes, no, that." The fat man's mouth trembled. He almost agreed with the waiter's words, but he suddenly remembered that the money in his pocket was limited. He had to change his mind. "I think it's average." "Average?" "Hee, sir, I'm not boasting. I've been selling mink fur for so long. Fits so well. Except for the lady just now, it's your girlfriend. You see, the whole person has a noble temperament." The waiter said, "Miss, what do you think?" Zhang Xiaoyuan just thought that the fat man had agreed to buy it for her, so naturally she didn't care. Besides, she also liked this coat very much, so she said, "And not bad. When you said that, I also feel this way. Abayu, why don't we buy this?" Although she couldn't show off in front of Lin Jiyun, she didn't lose face, so Zhang Xiaoyuan was still relatively happy. After all, she also bought a mink fur coat. Before this, the fat man only said to buy a mink fur coat. Moreover, this mink fur coat wasn't cheap. Cost more than 40,000 yuan. How could Zhang Xiaoyuan not be happy? However, the fat man couldn't stand it. He quickly winked at Zhang Xiaoyuan and said, "Xiaoyuan, I don't think this is very good. Why don't we go somewhere else?" "I think it's quite good. What's wrong, Abayu?" Zhang Xiaoyuan was suddenly a little unhappy. "Isn't this obviously losing face?" "I just think that if we buy clothes, we have to walk around more, right?" The fat man explained awkwardly, and then he kept winking at Zhang Xiaoyuan. "Buddy, what's wrong with your eyes?" Yang Ming held back his laughter and asked the fat man seriously. "Oh, nothing, look. It's a little confusing." The fat man stuttered. "Oh, so that's the case. Since your girlfriend likes it, then you buy it. Anyway, it's not much money. If you see something good later, then buy it. Besides, maybe if you don't buy it now, someone else will buy it in a while." Yang Ming said, "Yes, sir, this is the last one left. There won't be any more after it's sold out." The waiter also fanned the flames. But the fat man was now in a dilemma. The key problem was that his card didn't have so much money now. "Abayu, I want this one. Let's pay." Zhang Xiaoyuan saw the fat man hesitate and her face immediately sank. "What's wrong with this, Abayu? Isn't this embarrassing?" The fat man wanted to say that he wouldn't buy it, but if he said this, not only would he lose his face, but he might also lose his girlfriend. "Sir, then I'll issue the invoice?" The waiter asked. "It's 46,800 yuan. Isn't it a discount?" Zhang Xiaoyuan asked. "Oh, it's a discount if you buy 2 pieces. Just now, this gentleman said that the discount was looking down on him." The waiter explained. Chapter 379. Wow, so stylish. Zhang Xiaoyuan looked at her boyfriend with some admiration. She finally got back some face. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but look at Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun provocatively. What's the discount? It doesn't matter. Yang Ming smiled and didn't say anything. Most likely, this silly girl didn't know the situation of the fat man, right? Sure enough, as Yang Ming expected, the fat man whispered to Zhang Xiaoyuan, I'm going to make a call. Then he left in a hurry. Although the fat man found a place far away from them to make a call, the content of the phone call was clearly passed to Yang Ming's ears. Boss, I'm Biaozi. I want to discuss something with you. Can you see if you can give me my next few months' salary in advance? Please, boss. I've been with you for so many years. Why, isn't it because my girlfriend wants to buy a coat? Boss, but I like her. Hey, thank you, boss. 40,000 yuan is enough. The fat man breathed a sigh of relief and finally settled the matter of money. Yang Ming laughed twice and took the bill to pay first. Aren't you pretending? I'll let you pretend. Pretend as much as you want. I'll cooperate with you. Let's see how you repay the debt after pretending. Wait to be a slave. As soon as he finished paying, he saw the fat man come over with a bitter face. Yang Ming said insidiously, rich people are really different. You don't even bargain when buying things. That's right, that's right. The fat man was about to cry. Damn, if you didn't talk too much, would I be able to spend a few thousand yuan? My 1 month's salary was gone because of your words. But I can't say this. Who asked my girlfriend to be so prideful? It's really a case of wanting to be prideful to suffer. As for what expression Zhang Xiaoyuan would have when she knew the truth, Yang Ming didn't have the mood to watch it. He took the clothes directly and left the Diamond Madame Fur Plaza with Lin Jiyun. Should I take it off first? Lin Jiyun wore such expensive clothes for the first time in her life. She was afraid of breaking it. No need, I bought it to wear it. If I don't wear it, what's the point of buying it? Yang Ming smiled and said, but your classmate Zhang Xiaoyuan might not be so happy now, right? Why? Lin Jiyun asked curiously. The reason is very simple. Yang Ming told Lin Jiyun what had just happened. Even Lin Jiyun, who had always been a good person, laughed. Yang Ming, since you know, why are you still playing with him? Lin Jiyun said with some blame. I'm not messing with him. Isn't he just trying to show off in front of us? I was just cooperating with him to show off. Yang Ming shrugged and said indifferently, who asked me to be a good person? Lin Jiyun sighed after listening, then smiled and said, forget it. Let's not talk about her. Jun, I think you are a very good person. Gu Xinyao is so hateful, yet you still speak up for her. This Zhang Xiaoyuan, why do you seem to hate her? Yang Ming had long wanted to ask this question. Hate her? Maybe. Lin Jiyun took a breath and then said slowly, Zhang Xiaoyuan and I were good friends in high school. At least I think so. We were desk mates. At that time she found a rich boyfriend. It should be the one I saw today. Although she always showed me her expensive things, I felt that she didn't have a bad heart at the time. But later, something happened in my family. It was the time when my father was hit by a car. I wanted to borrow some money from her, but I didn't expect her to reject me. No matter how I begged, she was indifferent. She also said that it was better to buy a necklace herself than to borrow money from me. Yang Ming thought about Zhang Xiaoyuan's attitude and felt that it wasn't strange for her to do this kind of thing. Later she gave me an idea, and then I met you, Lin Jiyun said with some pain. After all, that incident was a stain in her life. In any case, she had betrayed herself like those prostitutes. Although the transaction wasn't successful, this was always a knot in Lin Jiyun's heart. Is it the matter of you selling your virginity? Yang Ming frowned and asked. And Lin Jiyun responded softly and then nodded. Motherfucker, I think she's almost like a prostitute now. Yang Ming scolded in a bad mood. Fortunately, Lin Jiyun met me at that time. Otherwise, who knows what would happen. However, then again it seemed that Yang Ming should thank Zhang Xiaoyuan. If there was no Zhang Xiaoyuan, could Yang Ming meet Lin Jiyun? If there wasn't that encounter without Yang Ming's help, would Lin Jiyun immediately give up the idea of pursuing him after knowing that the person who violated her was Yang Ming? Don't scold people. Lin Jiyun scolded. Okay, I won't scold anymore. Yang Ming smiled. Originally, Lin Jiyun's mood wasn't very good when she met Zhang Xiaoyuan, but after knowing that Yang Ming set her up, she let go of the unhappiness in her heart. Looking at the time, it was about noon. The two people found a fast food restaurant to eat something and then drove back to school together. Gu Xinyao didn't go to class today. Last night she had a crazy night with Bai Hai. Now she just got up and was wearing clothes when she saw Lin Jiyun come in. Hey, Sister Lin, you're here? Is your leg okay? Gu Xinyao asked very enthusiastically. Hey, I'm fine. Lin Jiyun nodded. It's good that you're fine. Sister Lin, is the coat you're wearing mink? So beautiful. Did Brother Yang buy it for you? Gu Xinyao praised. And Lin Jiyun nodded shyly. Right, Jing Xiaolu, don't you want to know Brother Yang? This is Brother Yang's girlfriend, Lin Jiyun. You can call her Sister Lin. Gu Xinyao said to a girl who had makeup like a monster. And Jing Xiaolu looked at Lin Jiyun for a long time and then said, Sister Xinyao, are you mistaken? How is she Brother Yang's girlfriend? Jing Xiaolu saw Chen Mengyan last time. She had never seen Lin Jiyun, so naturally she would ask this question. Gu Xinyao listened to Jing Xiaolu's words and remembered that Brother Yang's girlfriend last time wasn't Lin Jiyun. It's over. This is bad. Gu Xinyao was afraid that Jing Xiaolu would say something else, so she quickly gave her a look. After all, Lin Jiyun was standing here. Gu Xinyao couldn't guarantee that she didn't know that Yang Ming had other girlfriends. Sister Xinyao, what's wrong with you? Jing Xiaolu didn't know the details, so she asked stupidly, I remember the woman last time very clearly. It's not her. Jing Xiaolu, don't talk nonsense. How many times have I told you? You should get a contact lens for your myopia. You can even mistake people. Gu Xinyao scolded. Sister Lin is Brother Yang's girlfriend. You must have seen wrongly last time. Jing Xiaolu was even more puzzled. That's not right. What is this Gu Xinyao doing? She looked at Gu Xinyao strangely. My eyes aren't myopic. Sister Xinyao, have you not woken up yet? AI. Gu Xinyao sighed helplessly and then said to Lin Jiyun awkwardly, Sister Lin, Jing Xiaolu is usually so crazy. She speaks incoherently. Don't mind her. It's okay. I know who she is talking about. Lin Jiyun shook her head bitterly. Yang Ming was just her fake boyfriend. How could she be compared with his real girlfriend? Gu Xinyao was stunned. She looked at Lin Jiyun strangely. Did she know? Xinyao and Jing Xiaolu, right? Lin Jiyun hesitated and said, Can I trouble you with something? What is it, Sister Lin? As long as you say it, I can do it even if I can't. Gu Xinyao quickly promised. I'm Yang Ming's girlfriend. Can you keep it a secret for me? Can you not tell others? Lin Jiyun bit her lip and said bitterly. She didn't know why, but Lin Jiyun had a sad feeling. Lin Jiyun suddenly had a very sad feeling. Am I a third party? Because in Jing Xiaolu's strange eyes, Lin Jiyun read this message. Yes, Jing Xiaolu did think so. Could it be that this Lin Jiyun is the legendary mistress? However, Gu Xinyao immediately adjusted her mood and said, No problem, Sister Lin. I won't talk nonsense. Then she glared at Jing Xiaolu and said, You heard it too? I know. Jing Xiaolu was still afraid of Gu Xinyao. This matter was over, but Lin Jiyun fell into contemplation. Should I take some measures? Chapter 380. In the afternoon, Yang Ming originally wanted to go shopping with Chen Mengyan, but Chen Mengyan didn't want to skip class, so he had to give up. However, this also gave Yang Ming time to meet other lovers. Yang Ming came to Xiaoqing's office and glanced inside with his special ability. He saw that there was no one else except Xiaoqing, so he pushed the door and walked in. Sister Xiaoqing. Yang Ming closed the door and walked straight to Xiaoqing. Yang Ming? Why are you here? Xiaoqing looked up with some joy and looked at Yang Ming very gently. Why? Didn't you go shopping with your girlfriend? Am I not preparing? Yang Ming stretched out his hand in front of Xiaoqing. I just don't know if my girlfriend will do me the honor. Me? Xiaoqing looked at Yang Ming with some disbelief. She didn't expect Yang Ming to actually come to her and ask her to go shopping. As a matter of fact, she was just his secret lover. Although Xiaoqing said that she didn't care about these titles as a woman, especially at Christmas, she still hoped to be with her beloved. However, Xiaoqing also knew that Yang Ming was a person who had a girlfriend. She couldn't create trouble for him, so she endured her longing and didn't call Yang Ming. She didn't expect Yang Ming to take the initiative to ask her out. There seems to be no one else here, right? Yang Ming looked at Xiaoqing with a smile. I accept your invitation. Xiaoqing happily handed her hand to Yang Ming. Yang Ming held Xiaoqing's soft little hand and said, Where do you want to go? I want to go to the beach. Is that okay? Xiaoqing looked at Yang Ming eagerly. Okay, but why do you want to go to the beach in winter? Yang Ming was a bit puzzled. I used to have a wish to stroll on the beach with my lover, Xiao Qing said with yearning. Since you walked right into the trap, then of course I won't be polite. You haven't been there with Song Heng before? Yang Ming asked strangely. Xiao Qing and Song Heng used to be a couple. Even if there was no intimate relationship, they should often go out to play, right? But Xiao Qing shook her head. No. Don't mention him. I'm in a good mood now, so I don't want to talk about him. Although Xiao Qing just mentioned it casually, Yang Ming felt that something was unusual. Yes, when Song Heng was mentioned before, Xiao Qing just regarded him as a stranger. Although she was disgusted, she didn't avoid it, and it was impossible for her to be angry. But today, Xiao Qing's tone had an obvious intention to avoid it. Sister Xiao Qing, what's wrong? Did Song Heng trouble you again? Yang Ming asked suddenly. No. Xiao Qing shook her head quickly. She didn't want to destroy the gentle atmosphere in front of her. Sister Xiao Qing, you lied to me. Yang Ming's eyes went straight to Xiao Qing's eyes. I. Xiao Qing sighed. It seemed that she couldn't hide it. Is it because of the purchase of experimental equipment? Did he make things difficult for you? Yang Ming said in a low voice. He refused to cooperate with our school. In other words, he didn't intend to sell experimental equipment. Xiao Qing said helplessly. Because I talked back to him last time? Yang Ming asked with some difficulty. It has nothing to do with you. Song Heng has premeditated this for a long time. From the moment he saw me, he probably tried to sabotage this deal. Even if you didn't have anything to do with it, he would pick on it from other places. Xiao Qing said with some resentment. I didn't expect him to be such a person. Because of personal matters, he would harm the company's interests. In other words, he isn't going to cooperate? Or does he want to get something? Yang Ming wasn't stupid. Song Heng must have a purpose for doing this. Moreover, Yang Ming had already guessed something. He asked me to go to his residence tonight to talk about it in detail, Xiao Qing said with some anger. Motherfucker, is this guy tired of living? He still dares to do something to you? Yang Ming was immediately angry when he heard it. Don't worry, Yang Ming. I definitely won't go. At most, I will take the blame and resign. Xiao Qing said with some helplessness. After all, he is targeting me. If I'm no longer in school, he shouldn't go against the money. It seems that it is necessary for me to talk to this guy. Yang Ming sneered and then said to Xiao Qing, Sister Xiao Qing, I will go out now. I will accompany you to the beach in the evening, but maybe you will be in a better mood at that time. Yang Ming, do you mean that you are going to find Song Heng? Xiao Qing asked nervously. If I don't find him, why should I keep him? Yang Ming said with a shrug. Song Heng is a very sinister person, and Huatong Trading Company is a multinational company. Xiao Qing hesitated and said, Yang Ming, I don't want anything to happen to you. Really? Hee, Sister Xiao Qing, you can rest assured. Have you forgotten about Huang Yukai? Is Wang's Century Xiongfeng Group big? In my eyes, it is nothing at all, Yang Ming said with a smile. I only know that whoever bullies you, I will let him suffer a fate worse than death. The incident last time. You really did it. Xiao Qing looked at Yang Ming in a daze. Although she suspected it last time, there was no substantial evidence. Now Yang Ming said it personally, so Xiao Qing had no doubts. It seems that I still don't know enough about Yang Ming. Yang Ming must have a side that I don't know. Thinking of Yang Ming's calmness in the bar in Hong Kong, and his calmness when he was being followed by bad guys, Xiao Qing determined that Yang Ming was not an ordinary person. Sister Xiao Qing, you won't report me, right? Yang Ming was just joking. He was 100% assured about Xiao Qing. Even if the whole world betrayed him, Xiao Qing would never do it. Yang Ming had this confidence. I don't know anything. Xiao Qing smiled. Then you should be careful. Xiao Qing knew that she couldn't stop Yang Ming, so she could only tell him. Today Song Heng was very upset. It was already noon and Xiao Qing didn't reply to him. Motherfucker, why hasn't this bitch called me back? If you want to buy experimental equipment, isn't it up to me? If you don't come and beg me, don't expect me to sell it to you. I'm not afraid that you won't comply at that time. Song Heng looked at the phone on the table and scolded fiercely. President Song, how can I not compare to that Xiao Qing? A coquettish woman, Song Heng's secretary, said while lying on Song Heng's body. You don't understand. That's my first love, so I must get it. Song Heng said as he lasciviously pulled open his belt, and then violently pressed the female secretary's head down. Oh, President Song, I like to eat bananas the most. How can that Xiaoqing compare to me? The coquettish female secretary said as she began to work hard. Don't worry, don't be jealous. I won't treat you badly. If there is a chance, I will recommend to the head office to promote you to the assistant to the general manager. Song Hang pinched the female secretary's chest and said, harder. With a paw sound, the office door was pushed open. Who? Fuck, don't you know how to knock on the door before entering? Song Hang was shocked. Fortunately, the female secretary was relatively short and was lying behind the desk. President Song. Yang Ming opened his mouth and was rudely interrupted by Song Hang. Since you know that I'm President Song, get out of here. Song Hang scolded. He was having fun, but he was interrupted. This feeling was really uncomfortable. President Song, of course I know that you are President Song and I'm here to send you off. Yang Ming said with a sneer. You motherfucker. Song Hang was about to curse, but he suddenly recognized the person in front of him. Are you Xiaoqing's lover? Lover? Whatever you say. But you won't have the right to speak soon. Yang Ming shook his head indifferently and wasn't angry at all. What do you want? If you are here to make trouble, don't blame me for being rude. Song Hang said as he pressed the internal phone on the table and shouted, Security Department, send a few people up. Just shout, idiot. Yang Ming scolded. Song Hang was stunned. It took a long time to react. It turned out that there was no sound on the phone. You broke my phone? Oh, I saw the telephone exchange in the corridor, so I just smashed it. Yang Ming said faintly. You motherfucker, you wait. As Song Hang said this, he was going to pick up the phone on the table. An iron skewer flew straight over and nailed Song Hang's right hand, who was about to get the phone to the desk. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.